Welcome to HOJO Radio. Our next broadcast is a radio and television comedy series that ran for over 3 decades, from 1932 to 1955 on radio and from 1950 to 1965 on television. It won numerous awards, including the 1959 Emmy for Best Comedy Show, and is generally regarded as the high watermark in 20th century American comedy. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the Jack Benny Program on HOJO Radio.
The Jell-O program, coming to you from the stage of the Ritz Theater in New York City, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with, "Oh, gee, oh, gosh, oh, golly, I'm in love." When you come to the end of a perfect day, there's certainly a grand feeling of peace and contentment about it. And that same feeling of contentment applies to the end of a perfect meal. That is, if you find a bright dish of shimmering Jell-O there to greet you. Jell-O, ladies and gentlemen, is really the ideal way to end the meal. It serves as a fitting climax to everything that has gone before, and it leaves you with a mellow mood of true satisfaction. Because Jell-O is a swell-looking, swell-tasting dessert, gay with glorious colors and rich with a tangy goodness as refreshing as the ripe fruit itself. So make your next meal a bang-up success by serving Jell-O in any one of its 6 delicious flavors. Incidentally, friends, this is National Restaurant Week, and I hope a great many of you will take the occasion to drop in at your favorite restaurant, where you'll always find Jell-O, one of the most popular desserts in the menu. Be sure to ask for the Jell-O flavor you like best. That was "Oh, gee, oh, gosh, oh, golly, I'm in love," played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that tonight marks the 9th radio anniversary of our Master of Ceremonies. So without further ado, we bring you a man who for 9 long years in the field of radio has worked, slaved, worried, and looks it, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny, who ain't what he used to be talking. And Don, despite your left-handed approach, I want to thank you for remembering my radio anniversary. It's darn sweet.
Well, your title's on, Jack.
9 years of progression. Yes, it is, Don, and 6 of them with the same sponsor. It's fun looking back, though.
Well, tell me, Jack, when you made your radio debut, your first sponsor was Canada Dry Ginger Ale, wasn't it?
Well, that was my first big program, Don. But before that, I did an early morning broadcast for Bixby's Bonnie Biscuit Batter. For the lazy housewife. Our slogan was Bixby's Batter, as light as a feather. Oh, it was very popular.
Bixby's Biscuit Batter. I don't remember that program, Jackson.
Well, Phil, as I was telling Don, we went on very early in the morning, from 7 to 7:05. It's just a short broadcast.
Oh, well, that explains it. I seldom get up at 7 a.m.
Phil, you seldom get in at 7 a.m. We've been in New York now almost 3 weeks, and I'll bet you haven't been to bed once.
Well, it ain't my fault. I can't find my hotel.
Can't find your hotel? Phil, for your information, you checked in at the St. Moritz the first day we got in town.
The St. Moritz?
Yes.
I better write that down. I got to get some sleep tonight.
That's not a bad idea.
So, Jack, getting back to Bixby's Biscuit Batter, what sort of a program was it? Did you give morning exercises and all that?
No, Don. I used to read recipes and poetry. I was known as Happy Jack, your 7 o'clock whistle. And my theme song was so cute. Would you like to hear it, fellas?
Sure. Do you remember it, Jack?
Do I? I wrote it. Get a load of this. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, you little sleepyhead. Get your body out of bed. It's Bixby batter time. Wake up. Wake up. Oh, Mr. Smith and Mrs. Jones, do not be a lazy bones. It's Bixby batter time. Whether you sleep on your tummy or on your back, wake up with Happy Jack. It's 7-1. There, how's that, fellas?
Well, to tell you the truth, Jack, that'd be pretty corny nowadays.
Yeah.
Corny nothing, that's class, bub.
Thanks, Hezekiah. Anyway, Don, my listeners liked it, and it was a pleasure to start each day off with a smile.
But I can't understand how you could be Happy Jack at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that was nothing, Don. Before I got that job, I was on another program that went on at 5 a.m.
5 a.m.?
Yeah, the only fan letters I got were from 4 roosters and a sleepwalker. Anyway, it was good training.
Say, Jackson, what's the name of my hotel again?
The St. Moritz. Write it down. Anyway, Don.
I wonder if I got a room with a bath.
I hope so. Anyway, Don, it was good training, and it gave me a swell start in radio.
Ah, but I can't get over it. Broadcasting at 5 o'clock in the morning. You didn't have a sponsor then, did you?
I certainly did. I was on the air for Newton's non-roll nightshirts. Their slogan was, your kneesies will never feel the breezies. I was on the air for 13 weeks, and I think I'm the only guy that bought one of those nightshirts.
And you're still wearing it. Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary. And you're wrong again. I don't wear a nightshirt. I sleep in pajamas, coat and pants.
And a cap.
All right, I maybe have one outfit like that, and you make an issue of it. You know, you might at least congratulate me on my 9th radio anniversary.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. Congratulations on your anniversary. And may you continue to spread joy and sunshine for many years to come.
Well, thanks. You make that up yourself?
No, that was on the telegram. I was too cheap to send you.
Oh, well, it's a thought that counts, I guess. You know, Mary, you ought
Hey, Jackson, what street is the St. Moritz on?
Central Park South, for heaven's sake. It's our last night in town. He's worrying about what hotel he's stopping at.
Our last night in town. Are we going back to Hollywood tomorrow?
Yep, first thing in the morning.
Gee whiz, and I promised Mom I'd get over to Plainfield and see her again. I better call her up right away.
Oh, yes, Mary. Your folks do live here in the East. How are they?
Mom is fine, Pop is fine, my sister's married, and Uncle Otto, who came to visit us 8 years ago, is staying for a 3rd term.
Well, there's all the news in a nutshell. Go ahead and call your mother up, Mary, and make it snappy.
Okay. Hello, operator. Give me long distance, please.
Hey, Don, have you seen Dennis around anywhere?
Well, yes, Jack. He's here someplace.
Long distance? I want Plainfield, New Jersey, please. The number is 223J.
Hurry it up, Mary. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Congratulations on your radio anniversary.
Well, thanks, Dennis. Say, what's that you're hiding in back of you?
Oh, that's a cake I brought for you. It's got 9 candles on it, one for each year.
A cake? Well, that's just...
Hello? Hello, Peter's Meat Market? Will you please run upstairs and call Mrs. Livingston to the phone?
Peter's Meat Market?
Oh, is that you, Mr. Peters? This is Mary, remember? Oh, I'm fine. Say, Mr. Peters, do you still give away garters with leg of lamb?
Mary, hurry up and get your mother.
Will you call Mama, please? Okay, I'll wait.
How do you like the cake, Mr. Benny?
Oh, it's swell, Dennis, and the candles are all lit, aren't they?
Well, blow them out, Jack. It's your anniversary.
Okay, hold it steady, Dennis. Here goes.
Well, you got one of them.
Yeah, hold it closer, Dennis.
Here you are.
Darn it.
Hello? Oh, hello, Mama. This is Mary. Look, Mama, I won't be able to come over tomorrow because we're leaving for Hollywood. Yes, first thing in the morning.
What's the matter with me?
What's that, Mama? Oh, that's Jack. He's got asthma.
I haven't got asthma. I'm trying to blow out these candles.
Well, I'm ashamed to tell her.
I'll get them. Don't worry.
Listen, Mama, couldn't you come into New York tonight? The only chance I'll get to see you.
See him flicker, fellas?
Well, all right, Mama. I'll expect you the first thing in the morning. Oh, you saw Buck Benny rise again last night? Well, how do you like Jack as a cowboy? He what?
Well, everybody else likes me. Now hang up.
All right. Goodbye, Mama. See you tomorrow.
We should stop asking your mother what she thinks of me. She's always got those same 2 words.
And what a delivery.
Well, I don't like it. Now, Dennis, it's about time for a song, so go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Benny. Aren't you going to blow out the rest of the candles?
Never mind, just sing your song. Everybody's so worried about me. There, that's got him, doggone it.
Here's a chair, Jack. You better rest for a while.
Thanks, Mary, thanks.
Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will, how still my heart, how high the moon. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will, how still my heart, how high the
That was How High the Moon from Two for the Show, sung by Dennis Day. And, Dennis, this is the last number you're going to do from New York. Next week, we'll be back home in California.
Gee, it'll be good to see the sun again, won't it?
Now, wait a minute, Dennis. It might have been raining and cloudy most of the time, but the sun was out all day today.
I think that was just a publicity stunt for the opening of the fair.
That's possible. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we announced last week...
Hey, Jackson, how do you spell St. Moritz?
Never mind, I'll take you there. Heavens. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Phil, next time, stay at the YMCA. It's already spelled out for you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we announced last week, tonight, the Benny, even our best friends won't tell us players, will present their version of that well-known Wednesday night taffy pull, the Fred Allen Show, The Hour of Smiles. Thank you, Bean Blossom. Now, being a martyr, I will play the most unattractive part, that of Mr. Allen. Don Wilson will be Harry Von Zell, and Phil Harris will be Peter Van Steeden. You think you can handle the part, Phil?
I don't know. I'm a little more blasé than he is.
Well, at rehearsal, folks, he said blazy. You'll handle it all right, Phil. Now, let's see. Who else do we need?
Am I going to be in it, Jack?
Yes, Mary. You're going to play the part of Portland Hoffa.
Well, that's the best half I had today.
Mary, let's not get into Allen's type of material too soon. Now, Dennis?
Yes, please?
In our play tonight, you're going to be a bottle of Salopatica. Go over in the medicine chest and sit down.
Okay. Oh, boy, Salapatica.
What a kid. Gee, I wish I could be that happy.
Why don't you empty your swimming pool and dive in?
Thanks. Well, I guess we're just about set now.
But, Jack, how are you going to play the part of Fred Allen? Your voice isn't anything like his.
Don, all I have to do is put a clothespin on my nose. I've got one right here. And now, folks, this little satire will go on immediately after the next number, which will be played by Peter Van Harris and his deadpanna troubadour. Hit it, boys. That was Alice Blue Gown from Irene, played by Peter Van Harris and his orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our tabloid version of that Wednesday night weenie bake, that sand in the spinach of life, the Fred Allen Show. Mary, hand me that clothespin.
Here you are, Jack.
I want to Allenize my nose here. Wait a minute. Just a second. I want to get that on. Good. Let's see now. Me. That's him, all right. Okay, let's go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Von Wilson welcoming you to the Hour of Groans. 60 minutes of eggs and music. Eggs with our star comedian, Fred Allen. Music with Peter Van Harris. And our three songbirds, the Merry Mucks. So duck, everybody. It's the Fred Allen Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's the man you've all been waiting for. The pride of Boston. That New England boiled comedian, Fred Allen, in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, Harry, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the studio tonight. Ho, ho, ho. I was walking down 6th Avenue, and a panhandler asked me for a $1 bill for a cup of coffee.
$1 bill?
Yes, he claimed there was a hole in his pocket, and a coin would slip through. Ho, ho, ho. Thank you, folks, thank you. Well, so much for good, clean fun. And now let us turn to the latest news of the week. Harlem, New York. This dusky community is still carrying on a celebration for Rochester Van Jones, butler to Jack Benny, the radio comedian. Ho, 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 ho. News of the Week interviews Mr. Van Jones. Pardon me, Mr. Van Jones. I'm a reporter, and I'd like to ask you a few questions. Tell me, have you been having a good time up here in Harlem?
Have I? This turban I'm wearing is full of ice cubes.
I see. Now, Mr. Van Jones, I understand you're in the employ of a Mr. Jack Benny. Is that correct?
I work for him, all right.
Now, what sort of a man is Mr. Benny?
He's very pleasant, very pleasant.
I see. Well, is he hard to get along with?
Oh, no, sir. He's the finest man I ever met. Pure gold, pure gold.
Now, there are rumors, Rochester, that Mr. Benny is rather tight and you have trouble getting your salary from him. Is that true?
Oh, no, sir. He not only pays me handsomely, but frequently.
I see. And you're sure all of this is the truth?
Definitely.
Well.
That clothespin don't fool me none.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Van Jones, and I'll see you later. So long.
So long, boss.
That was Peter Van Harris playing. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if I may be so bold.
Oh, Mr. Allen! Mr. Allen!
Well, look who's here. I'll be darned if it isn't Seattle.
Hello!
Well, that's quite a reception you got, Tacoma. What's on your mind?
Oh, Mr. Allen, the funniest thing happened to me on the way to the studio tonight. I was walking down 6th Avenue, and a panhandler asked me for a nickel.
Only a nickel?
Yes, he said he had his pants fixed with that dollar you gave him.
Well, that's very funny, Spokane, and I wish this eagle would get off my hat. Shoo! Now, what about our guest tonight?
He's right here, Mr. Allen, and his hobby is a most unusual one.
Really?
Yes, this gentleman is an amateur street cleaner.
Well, that's very interesting. How do you do, sir?
Hiya, chum.
Now, young fellow, how did you happen to develop such an unusual hobby?
Well, I tell you, chum, I'm walking down the street one day, and all of a sudden I sees a mug in a top hat throw away a longie.
A longie?
Yeah, a cigar. A butt that has possibilities.
I see.
So I picks it up, and I've been doing that ever since.
Oh, you're a bump.
Yeah.
Well, one more won't hurt this show.
Porty. Now tell me, my retriever of nicotine. Tell me, what type of men throw away stogies with the greatest possibility of salvage?
Well, bankers mostly. But once in a while, I get some actor.
Yes, actors are notoriously carefree.
Yeah, all but Jack Benny. That guy don't throw him away till his bridge wake is on fire.
Oh. Well, thanks for coming up. Now get out. Quaint fellow, wasn't he? Now, Harry.
Yes, Fred.
As the farmer said to the horse thief, where's my plug?
Ladies and gentlemen, we now take you to a typical American home. The husband speaks.
Oh, Lulu, where's that tube of Ipana?
It's right there, honey, right behind that bottle of Sal Hepatica.
There's nothing behind me.
Dennis, screw your top on.
Well, Lulu, I gotta brush my teeth.
All right, then run down to the drugstore and get some Ipana.
Young man, as long as you're on your way to the drugstore, don't forget to stop at your neighborhood grocer and buy a package of Jell-O. It is economical, easy to make, and comes in 6 delicious flavors.
You tell him, Harry.
And remember, young man, insist on genuine Jell-O and look for the big red letters on the box.
Well, so much for sponsorial spouting. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our own musical madcaps, the Merry Mucks, will render a special arrangement of that popular song entitled, She Was Only a Pipe Maker's Daughter, But Oh, What Stems. Swing it, Mucks.
Ma, he's making eyes at me. Ma, he's awful nice to me. Ma, he's almost breaking my heart. I'm beside him. He must have married me. Be my honey. Bust around. He's leaning on my shoulder, Ma. He's kissing 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 Ma.
All right, for heaven's sake. My goodness.
Well, we gotta break it up tonight.
That was Ma, He's Making Eyes at Me, sung by the Merry Mucks. And now, ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness, look at that man in the control room waving his finger at me. Our program is running overtime, folks, but that always happens. I ad-lib like mad. But we still have a few minutes left for the question of the week.
This is Mr. and Mrs. Average Man's Roundtable, where three persons selected from our studio audience are invited to give their opinions on a question that concerns some prominent issue of the day. These little sessions are entirely unrehearsed.
Oh, yeah?
Portland. Continue, Harry.
Fred now takes his place at the round table where he meets his fellow debaters for the first time. Ready, Fred?
I'm all set, Harry. Where are the three participants tonight, Portland?
Right there, Mr. Allen. The first one is Mr. Abner J. Lum of Inner Zipper, Alabama.
Good evening, Mr. Lum.
Hello, Ma.
Our next guest is Miss Minnie Tonka of Minneapolis, Min.
Minnie Tonka. Well, glad to have you with us, Miss Tonka.
Tonka very much.
Now, who's our third guest, Porty? Oh, there I go, ad-libbing again.
The name is blurred here, Mr. Allen. I can't make it out.
Oh, yes. What's your name, Mr.
Jerkfinkle.
Oh, fine.
Yes, the name is Logan Jerkfinkle.
Well, I might as well make the best of it. Now, Logan, here's the question of the week.
Quiz me, kid.
All right, here it is. Do you think the National Labor Relations Board presents the optimum hope for the... Oh, my goodness, there's that man in the control room again, with all my ad-libbing and everything. I suppose we won't have time for the question. Wait, I'll find out. Have we got time for the question, Tommy?
I don't know. Hey, Eddie, have we got time for the question? I don't know. Hey, Phil, have we got time for the question?
I don't know. Hey, let it go! Let it go! I forgot what it was anyway. My goodness, play, Peter. I must stop this ad-libbing.
Ladies, do you ever find yourself at a loss when it comes to thinking up something new for dessert? Well, then here's something you'll be mighty glad to know about. A few months ago, we introduced on this program a swell new Jell-O recipe. It's called Jell-O Pudding Whip. Perhaps you've already tried it. Judging from the letters that we've been getting, practically everybody has. But just in case you haven't heard about it, let me recommend Jell-O Pudding Whip as a mighty special treat, and one that's downright easy to prepare. And here's how it goes. Take one package of Jell-O, any flavor, and one package of Jell-O vanilla pudding, and make them up as you usually do. Then chill the Jell-O and whip as directed on the box. Next, chill the Jell-O vanilla pudding and add to it whipped Jell-O, beating constantly until blended. Then mold and get all ready to enjoy something really distinctive, really delicious. It's a treat that's truly out of the ordinary. So the next time some special occasion calls for a special dessert, remember Jell-O Pudding Whip, a unique combination of creamy Jell-O vanilla pudding and Jell-O.
This is the last number of the 31st program, Darn This Clothespin, in the current Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time, broadcasting from Hollywood, California. Mary, help me pull this clothespin off.
Oh, leave it there. On you it's becoming.
All right. Good night, folks.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
HOJO Radio, we're your old-time radio headquarters. Stay tuned.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program coming to you from Hollywood, California, starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with My Wonderful One, Let's Dance. Here's a dessert, ladies and gentlemen, that's just as gay as a morning in May. Yes, you're right. It's Jell-O. Rich, radiant Jell-O, a brilliant dessert that brightens up the table like a bowl of gay spring flowers. Jell-O is truly a delight to the eye and an inspiration to every appetite. Even the simplest meals take on a special attraction, become a real feast of flavor when there's a big dish of shimmering Jell-O for dessert. No matter which one of Jell-O's 6 glowing colors you choose, you'll have a dessert that looks like a million. And no matter which one of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors you select, you're in for a lot of swell, satisfying refreshment. Jell-O is simply full of extra rich flavor, as tempting as the juicy, ripe fruit itself. So enjoy some real soon. Ask your grocer tomorrow for Jell-O, and be sure to look for the big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O, and Jell-O spells a treat. That was my wonderful one, Let's Dance, played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our program tonight, we're going to reenact the events which occurred on our recent airplane trip from New York to Los Angeles. The time is last Monday morning, and as the scene opens, a taxicab carrying Jack and Mary is approaching the New York Municipal Airport on Long Island.
Well, Mary, we sure had a lot of fun in New York, didn't we? Shows, nightclubs, and everything.
I'll bet it was pretty expensive, eh, Jack?
All right, so it ran into money. But who cares? And how often do I go to New York? How often do I get on a spree?
How often does Paramount pay your expenses?
I don't care. I still feel like a playboy.
That's you, a nice, on-the-cuff playboy.
Anyway, I had fun. Hey, driver, step on it, will you? I don't want to miss the plane.
Your wish is my command.
Well, polite fellow, isn't he?
Oh, boy, wait till Paramount sees your expense account.
Mary, there's nothing wrong with it. Here it is right here, itemized and everything. Look, meals, room, tips, taxicabs, it's all legitimate.
How you going to explain this item? Blue suit, $85.
I bought that suit to make a personal appearance at the Paramount Theater. I wore it on the stage and everybody saw it.
Underwear, $4.50. What did you do, a striptease?
Mary, let Paramount worry about my underwear, will you? And driver, a little faster, please. We want to get there.
It is yours to request, mine to obey.
Well, thanks. My, isn't he formal?
Say, Jack, what's this on your list? Tips, $18. Gratuities, $37.
Now, what's wrong with that?
They mean the same thing.
They do not. Tips is dimes, and gratuities is from a quarter up. So mind your own business. Gee, look what time it is.
Well, jeepers creepers, this tops everything.
Now what?
Shoelaces, 5 cents.
Give me that list. You're not supposed to see it anyway. Hey, driver, that's the airport right ahead, isn't it?
It's mine to drive, yours to point out.
Oh, stop! Yep, that's the airport, all right.
Wow, look at all those planes.
Yeah, just think, 18 hours and we'll be in California. You know, Mary, the modern airplane winging its way through the clouds is a veritable 8th wonder of the world.
Unquote. I read the folder, too.
Well, it's very impressive. Well, here we are. I hope the rest of the gang are here. How much do I owe you, driver?
That'll be $2.
$2. Here you are. And, oh, yes, here's a tip for you.
Couldn't you make that a gratuity?
All right, here's a quarter. Goodbye, driver.
Goodbye. If you like me, tell your friends. If not, tell it to Sweeney.
16,000 cab drivers in New York, and I have to get a philosopher. Come on, Mary, the others are probably inside.
Here comes John Wilson now.
Where? Oh, yes, and Dennis is with him. Hey, fellas!
Oh, hello, Jack.
Hello, Mary.
All ready for the trip?
Well, Dennis, a few minutes more, and we'll all be flying back to California. Are you thrilled?
I'll say. But you know, Mr. Benny, I've never flown before. Is it scary?
No, there's nothing to it. I love it.
What are you talking about? You've never been up in a plane before in your life.
I've never been up in a plane.
No.
Then how come in Waukegan they used to call me Wings Benny?
That's because your shoulder blade stuck out.
Oh, sister, are you pressing? Now, where's Rochester with the luggage?
Maybe he's in the waiting room.
Yeah, let's go in. Come along, Dennis.
Say, Jack, did you have any trouble persuading Rochester to fly?
Well, he was pretty scared, Don, but I finally convinced him that the modern airplane winging its way through the clouds is a veritable eighth wonder of the world. That sold him. Gee, it's a beautiful station, isn't it, Mary?
Yeah, I'm going over to get a magazine.
Okay. Bring me a couple of cigars.
You want those stinkers, or is Paramount paying for them?
Never mind. Get good ones.
Attention, please. TWA Flight 9, the Sky Chief to Los Angeles, now loading at gate number 10. All aboard, please.
You hear that? They're loading the plane, and Rochester isn't even here yet.
You don't have to worry about Phil Harris. There he is over there.
Oh, yeah.
And look at that beautiful girl with him.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Dennis, come back here. Well, I'll go over and get Phil. Be right back, fellas.
Well, we'll be shoving off pretty soon, honey. Gosh, I hate to leave you.
Gee, Philsy, I'll be so lonesome without you.
Sure had a lot of fun these last couple of weeks, huh, Sugar?
It's been heavenly.
Oh, hello, Phil. I didn't see you.
Hiya, Jackson. You all set to leave?
Yep. And, well, who's this gorgeous creature?
Oh, pardon me. Jackson, I'd like you to meet Miss...
Oh, fine. Some romance.
What is your name, honey?
Minnie Jerkpinkle.
Jerkpinkle?
Yes, my brother Logan is one of your
most ardent fans, I know. I met him. Well, it's a pleasure, Miss Jerkpinkle. Give my regards to your brother. Come on, Phil, we got to get going.
Goodbye, Philsy.
So long. See you next year,
Minnie. Hey, that's a good-looking girl, Phil. Where'd you meet her?
My guitar player introduced her to me.
Oh. Well, how did he meet her?
I pointed her out to him.
Oh, the old one, too, eh? You know, Phil, if you... Well, look who's here.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hello, Rochester. Have you got the luggage weighed and everything?
Uh-huh.
Well, then come on. Let's get on the plane.
You know, boss, I've been pounding on this, and I think I'll go by train.
What do you mean?
You take the high road, and I'll take the low road. And I'll be in Los Angeles behind you.
Now, Rochester, don't be such a coward. Why, flying today is wonderful. It's just as safe as walking down the street. In fact, it's safer.
Boss, you're talking to a man that comes from a long line of Pullman porters.
I'm not going to argue with you. You want to go back to Hollywood, don't you?
Yes, but I don't want to ride on nothing where there's nothing under it.
Oh, Rochester, you're silly. Flying is the greatest thing in the world. Did you ever see a bird that wasn't happy?
Well, the day I wake up with feathers on, I'll try it.
Listen, Rochester, I've told you 1,000 times that the modern airplane winging its way through the clouds is a veritable...
Okay, let's go.
More like it. Come on.
Here's your cigars, Jack.
Thanks. What's that you got there?
It's a movie magazine. It's got your picture on the cover.
Let's see that. Oh, yeah. In color, too. See, my eyes sure look blue, don't they? Hey, fellas, look at this magazine with my picture on it.
Oh, Jack, take it easy.
I'm going over to get a few more copies of this.
Attention, please. TWA Sky Chief Flight 9 leaving immediately. All aboard.
Hurry up, Jack. Never mind the magazine.
Yeah, the heck with them. The heck with them nothing. It'll only take a second. Hey, young fella, give me a half a dozen copies of that magazine with my picture on it.
Take a dozen. They ain't selling.
All right, give me all of them. Here's your money.
Come on, Jack. The plane's ready to leave.
I'm coming. Here, Rochester, take these magazines.
Are you sure you want me to go with you, boss?
Yes, get going.
Okay. Doggone, if this plane is the eighth wonder, I'm the ninth for getting on it.
And stop talking to yourself.
Come on, Jack.
We're coming. We're coming. isn't this marvelous up here? Hey, Mary, see the airport way down there?
Yeah, it sure looks small, doesn't it?
Yep. How do you feel, Dennis?
Oh, boy, this is fun.
It sure is. Hey, Rochester, look at the airport way, way down there.
Describe it to me. I ain't looking.
What a baby.
Jack, we're flying over the East River now. Look at the skyline of New York below us.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that thrilling? Rochester, look at that skyline.
Boss, please.
Well, open your eyes. Hey, Phil,
What do you want, Jackson? Excuse me a minute, honey.
honey. A fine way to talk to the air hostess. You don't even know her.
I don't, huh? Her name is Miss Rutherford. She's single, comes from Texas, hasn't got a steady boyfriend, and what am I waiting for?
We've only been on this plane 2 minutes. She is pretty, though.
That's for me.
Oh, you and your that's for me.
Say, Jack.
What?
We're up in the air now. Why don't you unstrap your safety belt?
Because you're not supposed to. I'm not taking this belt off until we get to Los Angeles. That's the rule.
Why, Jack, you're only supposed to strap yourself when the plane takes off and when it lands.
Don, you're not talking to a greenhorn. I've been up before.
Go on, you haven't been up in the air since you played Little Eva in Uncle Tom's Cabin.
It wasn't me. That was my sister Florence. I played a bloodhound in that. And I got a blue ribbon, too.
Well, is everybody comfortable up here? How are you, Mr. Benny?
Oh, I'm fine, Miss Rutherford. Just fine.
You know, Mr. Benny, you can unstrap your belt now.
Oh, have they changed the rules? You see, in the old days when I was a test pilot, we used to stay strapped in all the time.
Oh, were you a test pilot?
Yes.
He used to try out pitchforks in a livery stable.
Mary, will you stop dreaming things up? Oh, Miss Rutherford, my ears have been buzzing a little bit. Is that on account of the altitude?
Yes, that's caused by air pressure on the eardrums. Now just swallow real hard and you'll be all right.
Oh, okay. Oh. There, that did it. Thanks.
Oh, Mr. Benny, my ears are buzzing, too.
Well, just swallow, Dennis, like I did. Go ahead, real hard.
Okay. Oh.
Dennis, you ought to have your skull x-rayed sometime. I think there's something wrong there.
Oh, Miss, when are we going to have lunch?
Right after we leave Chicago, Mr. Wilson.
Well, thank you.
You just had breakfast. Oh, Miss Rutherford, would you adjust my seat for me, please? I want to sit back and relax.
Why, certainly. There you are.
Thanks. No, we seem to be climbing higher all the time. Oh. There I go again.
Me too.
I wonder what does that. Just think. 5 hours ago we were in New York, and now we're pulling out of Chicago.
Say, Jack, look at that little old lady that just got on.
Oh, yes.
She's reading that movie magazine with your picture on the cover.
She is. Well, pardon me, madam. You know, that's my picture there on the cover.
Eh?
I said that's my picture on the cover.
They sure touched it up, didn't they?
Well, a little, but I think it's a good likeness. Hey, Rochester, you feel better now?
Oh, I feel fine, boss.
Good. How about playing a game of casino?
I left the cards at home.
Well, what of it? We can get a deck of cards from the hostess.
I can't win with them.
Oh-ho! So that's it. Well, Rochester, that $9,000 I owe you is automatically canceled.
Oh, Mr. Benny, if you look out of the window now, you'll notice that we're passing over Waukegan.
Waukegan? Oh, boy! Everybody stop reading and look out the window. Hey, Phil, look at Waukegan.
Don't bother me. I'm doing a crossword puzzle.
Look, Mary, there's the city hall.
Oh, yeah, I see the dome.
Well, I'll be darned. There's Mayor Tallcott sitting on the flagpole. Hey, Bidey!
Hiya, Jack.
Gee, he must have known I was going to pass through.
Do you recognize everything, Mr. Benny?
Sure, there's the Waukegan Hotel, there's Genesee Street, and there's my father's clothing store.
And there's your father out on the sidewalk wrestling with a customer.
He is not. He waits until they get in the store.
What's all the rumpus, you young man?
We just passed over my hometown, Waukegan. I was born there.
Eh?
I said I was born there.
They sure touched it up, didn't they?
Oh, forget it. Gee, that was a thrill.
Hey, Jackson.
What?
What's a three-letter word meaning opposite of woman?
Man. M-A-N.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Mary, he's been working that crossword puzzle ever since we left New York.
Miss Rutherford, we're going to have lunch pretty soon?
In just a minute, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, thank you.
Pardon me, young man. Are you John Wilson, the radio announcer?
That's right, madam, and I broadcast for Jell-O.
Eh?
Jell-O! Go to your neighborhood grocer and ask him for a package of Jell-O.
What's that you sell again?
Jell-O, madam. It comes in 6 delicious flavors, and look for the big red letters on the box.
I sure will.
Don, if I didn't know that lady was a total stranger, I'd swear this was a plug. I really would.
Hey, Jackson.
What?
What's a 9-letter word meaning musical organization?
Orchestra.
Oh, yeah, that was a toughie.
And he's a musician.
Say, Mr. Benny.
What is it, Dennis?
Well, Sunday is Mother's Day, so I was wondering if I could sing my song now and dedicate it to Miss Rutherford, our hostess.
Dedicated to Miss Rutherford? What for?
Well, all during this trip, she's been just like a mother to me.
Me too. Drat it. Go ahead and sing, Dennis.
Hey, Jackson, orchestra don't fit. I gotta have a 9-letter word.
Well, how many letters do you get out of orchestra?
Hey, O-R-K-I-S-T.
Phil, just take your pencil and make the white squares black. That's your speed. Sing, Dennis.
Okay.
And stop swallowing. O-R-K-I-S. What a guy.
Sometimes in the hush of the evening hour, when shadows creep from the west, I think of the twilight songs you sang and the boy you loved to rest. A wee little boy with tousled hair that long, long ago was thine. I wonder if sometime you long for that boy. Oh, little mother of mine. And now he has come to man's estate, grown stalwart in body and strong. You'd hardly know that he was a lad you loved with your slumber song. A year have altered the form and the life, but the heart is unchanged by time, and still he is only your boy as of old. Oh, little mother of mine, oh, little mother.
Very good, Dennis. Ought to go over swell on the program Sunday.
I hope so.
Say, Mary, that fried chicken looks pretty good. Give me a bite, will you?
Why didn't you order some when we did?
I wasn't hungry then. Oh, Miss Rutherford, I'll have a luncheon tray, please.
I'll bring it right in, Mr. Benny.
Thank you. Hey, wait a minute. Who took this magazine and drew a mustache on my picture? Did you do it, Mary?
No, I didn't think of it, darn it.
Well, someone did. Did you, Phil?
Not me.
Was it you, Dennis?
No, Mr. Benny.
Well, who did?
I did. You want to make something out of it?
Well, I don't think that's very nice, madam. Hey, Rochester, get an eraser. Get an eraser and remove this mustache from my picture.
Okay, boss. Should I uncross your eyes, too?
Yes, and fix up that tooth she blacked out. Now, go ahead.
Why can't Mr. Harris do this and I'll do the puzzle?
I don't care who does it, but get it done. By the way, Rochester, how do you like flying now?
Just fine. You know, boss, I think I'll buy an airplane when I get to California.
You better wait till your yacht is paid for. You're the down payingest man I ever saw. You buy more things that you can't keep.
You're right, boss. I've had everything repossessed but my first wife.
I'm not surprised.
Here's your soup, Mr. Benny. I'll have your chicken ready in a minute.
And some mashed potatoes, please. Gee, isn't this marvelous? Imagine eating soup while sailing through the air at 200 miles an hour. Gee, just like we were right at home. Who pushed me?
Nobody pushed you. We just hit an air pocket.
Well, get me a towel. I got clam broth all over my blue suit.
You mean Paramount's blue suit?
I mean, get me a towel. Wish the pilot would watch where he's going. Now cut that out! Oh, Miss Rutherford, tell the pilot to watch what he's doing.
Now, Mr. Benny, don't be a baby.
I'm not a baby. Whoop! Now we're pitching.
Oh, boy, this is fun.
Fun? Gosh, I'm getting sort of...
Are you dizzy, young man?
No, I'm all right. I'm fine.
What's the trouble, Jack?
No trouble at all, Don. I said I'm all right.
You look kind of pale, Jack. Are you sick?
No, I'm not sick.
And what's that you got in your lap? The Davis Cup?
Mary, this is no time to joke. Now stop.
Here's your fried chicken, Mr. Benny.
Oh. Later, please. Open that air vent a little more there, Rochester. And put down my chicken. I'll be all right in a few minutes.
Okay, boss, I'm sorry.
Take the chicken, Rochester. Go ahead.
Thanks, boss.
Can I do something for you, Jack?
Yeah, stop staring at me.
Oh, Mr. Benny, why don't you drink a glass of water and hold your breath?
Dennis, holding your breath is for hiccups.
That's all you need.
Gosh, I can't understand it. I felt so good just a minute ago. And now... Oh. Everything happens at once. Wish we were in Los Angeles already.
Why, Jack, this is a swell trip. You're the only one that's complaining.
I can't help it. I don't feel good.
But, Jack, an old test pilot once told me that the modern airplane, winging its way through the
All
clouds,
right,
is a
all
veritable eighth wonder of the world.
That's very interesting. Now, let me alone.
Okay, Wings.
Mary, please.
Hey, Jackson, how do you spell lobster?
Lobster? Now cut that out, Phil! The heck with your puzzle.
How do you feel now, Mr. Benny?
Not so good, Miss Rutherford.
Well, I'll sit right by you and hold your hand.
Gee, thanks. You know, you're awfully sweet to me.
Now, just relax, Mr. Benny, and I'll stroke your forehead.
Ah.
Look at the big movie star.
Let me alone, Mary. Gee, Miss Rutherford, your hand is so soothing and so cool. So cool. Yeah, your hand is so cool. So cool.
Thanks, boss.
Rochester! Where's Miss Rutherford? Where's everybody?
They got off the plane. We've landed.
Oh, my goodness. You mean we're in Los Angeles?
Sure, boss. Let's go.
Well, gee, we're here already. And I feel swell. Rochester, wrap up that fried chicken. I'll eat it on the way home.
Okay.
Don't wrap it in my picture. Boy, just think. 18 hours from New York to Los Angeles. You know, Rochester, the modern airplane winging its way through the clouds is a veritable eighth wonder of the world.
It sure is, boss. It sure is.
And now, let me tell you about one quick, easy way to answer that day-after-day question of what shall we have for dessert. Now, here's the whole trick. Tomorrow, ask your grocer for a box of strawberries and some lemon or orange Jell-O. Then when dinner time comes, surprise and delight the family with a swell new Jell-O dessert, Jell-O cubes with strawberries. Well, the very name tells you here's something that's going to be mighty easy to eat, and it's just as easy to make. All you do is first prepare one package of lemon or orange Jell-O in the usual way, and turn it into a pan to chill. Now, when it's firm, cut into cubes and arrange these cubes in sherbet glasses, along with sweetened sliced strawberries. Then serve it either plain or with cream, and believe me, the smiles around the table will be just as bright as this gay Jell-O dessert itself. Yes, for full, rich flavor and tempting appearance, Jell-O cubes with strawberries certainly rates with the best. So, friends, try this new Jell-O creation tomorrow. Juicy crimson strawberries, sliced and sweetened, and mingled with tiny glistening cubes of bright lemon or orange Jell-O. It's a grand dessert, quick and easy to make, a joy to look at, and downright delicious.
This is the last number of the 32nd program in the current Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time, broadcasting from Hollywood, California. Before saying goodnight, I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to mothers everywhere. Oh, Mary, did you send your mother a wire?
Yes, I sent her a wire, some flowers, a box of candy, and a check.
How much was the check?
You'll find out.
Good night, folks.
Be sure to listen to the Aldrich Family, heard in most communities every Tuesday night. Consult your local newspaper or movie or radio guide magazine for the day and exact time of the Aldrich Family.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Our next popular broadcast began in August of 1949 on NBC Radio and ran until November of 1953. Set in the Midwest, it starred Robert Young as General Insurance Agent Jim Anderson and portrayed an idealized vision of middle-class American life of the era. It was created by writer Ed James. While the show is often regarded as an example of conservative nature of the American family life in the 1950s, it's also cited as to be slightly rosy portrayal as well. We proudly present to you Father Knows Best on HOJO Radio.
Mother, why did Daddy switch to Postum?
Your father says there's no caffeine in Postum. Nothing to...
A visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by Instant Postum, the good-tasting drink that's entirely caffeine-free, and by Post 40% bran flakes. Ah, progress. How the ingenuity of man has brightened and broadened this world we live in. Not so long ago, a man who wanted to go someplace in a hurry invented the automobile. Then another fellow came along who wanted to go someplace still faster, and he invented the airplane. And then came the fellow who wanted somebody to stay with the children while he was gone, and he invented the babysitter. What does all this have to do with the Andersons of 607 Maple Street? Well, we'll see. It's along about 5 o'clock at the White Frame House, and here comes Jim Anderson home from work. Like this.
Margaret, I'm home.
Hello, dear.
Well, how's everything, honey? Any excitement today?
Oh, all kinds of things have been happening. You have no idea how exciting it's been in the house.
Really?
Oh, yes. Yes, I found Bud's necktie in the vacuum cleaner. The hinge came loose on the shower door. Oh, and a letter you mailed 2 months ago came back because of insufficient postage. Well, things have been humming around here, I'll tell you. How was your day?
Oh, pretty busy. Helen, the bookkeeper, had to leave early. Her daughter's going to some big dance tonight.
Oh?
And one of the salesmen got in from Chicago.
What's that red spot on your wrist?
Oh, that? I was bitten.
Dog?
No, child. I met Bob Kirby in front of the bank. He had little George with him. Believe me, Margaret, that youngster should be in a cage.
I've heard he was an active child.
Active? While Bob and I were talking, he tried to take my wristwatch off. With his teeth. If I had a child like that, I'd put him in a school or something.
Oh, speaking of school, there was some excitement today.
What happened? Did Bud get a passing grade in arithmetic?
No. This is something that'll make you very happy. You know how long you've been wanting to get on the school board.
Yeah?
Well, Mr. Otis called this afternoon and said for us to be sure to attend the annual school board meeting tonight.
Oh, is that tonight?
Mm-hmm, it's tonight. And they're electing 3 new members. He wants to nominate you.
Well, how do you like that?
Mm-hmm, he's sure you'll be elected.
Being nominated for the school board.
Hi, Daddy.
Hello, kitten.
Did you hear about it, Daddy? You're going to be one of the boards in the school.
Yes, I heard about it. Do you think they'd want a rough old board like me in your school?
Sure.
Oh, hi, Dad. You home?
Well, there's somebody here in my clothes. I think it's me.
Can I have something to eat?
No, it's too close to dinner time, Angel.
Are you going to take that job on the school board, Dad?
Well, if I'm nominated and then I'm elected, I will. That's quite an honor, you know.
What's a school board?
It's a bunch of guys that are bored with school.
All right, Bud.
Is it, Daddy?
No, kitten. They're a group of people who help the people of town run the schools. It's a very important job.
If that's Ralph, I don't want to talk to him.
Hello? Yes, she's here, but...
Is that Ralph?
Yes?
Let me talk to him. Hello? Well, I'm just crushed with sorrow, but I already have another date tonight.
Come on, Bud. Let's move into the den.
Holy cow.
Oh, yes. Don't think you can call me up
Gee,
the night of
Dad,
the dance and
if
ask
you
for
get
a
on the
date.
school board, you'll be a big wheel.
Oh, it's not that, son. It's just that it's an honor and a fine opportunity to serve the community. I've always wanted to take a more active part in these things.
I guess everybody in town must be going to the meeting. Everybody's looking for babysitters tonight.
Oh?
Yeah, Mrs. Walker even asked me if I wanted to sit with their baby tonight. They must be desperate.
You turned it down?
Yeah, babies. Joe Phillips said Mrs. Roberts asked him. He said no.
Guess all the girls are going to that dance tonight.
Oh, how I hate men.
Well, all but one.
Father, what would you think of a boy who'd call up 2 hours before a dance and ask for a date?
I'd say he was a thorough cad.
You're so right. I've decided I'm going to devote my life to higher things, Father. I'm going to dedicate myself to humanity.
Fine idea. I know where you can start. Tonight.
Where?
Right here in the neighborhood. A lot of people want to go to the school board meeting tonight, and they can't find babysitters.
It's the meeting where Dad's going to be nominated.
Yeah, I know. Gee, and I'd be helping you, too, wouldn't I, Father?
Well, that's not the point, Princess. You'd be rendering a valuable service to the community. And make a little money besides.
That's a sensational idea, Father. And maybe I could help a lot of people. See, there's Janie Liggett. She doesn't have a date tonight. And Cheryl Clark said she wasn't going to the dance. And I know there's a bunch of others. I could find babysitters for everybody.
Great. Good thinking.
Oh, it was your idea. Hand me the extension. Who'll I call first?
Mrs. Walker, they don't have anybody.
Let's see. Their number is 691. Gee, I'm beginning to feel like a crusader already.
Yeah? Wait till those babies start hollering.
Hello? Ms. Walker? This is Betty Anderson. Are you still looking for someone to stay with little Judy tonight? Well, what time do you want to leave? Okay, I'll have someone over there. You're welcome. Goodbye. How was that, Father?
Oh, you're rolling, Princess. You're going to be the pride of Springfield.
I wonder who else.
Mrs. Roberts. She was talking to Joe.
Mrs. Roberts. What's their number?
I think it's 557.
Dinner's on. Wash your hands, Bud.
I'm getting babysitters for tonight, Mother. For people who want to go to the school board meeting.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Hello? Mrs. Roberts? This is Betty Anderson. Fine, thank you. Miss Roberts, I heard you were looking for someone to stay with Lynn tonight. Well, I think I can help you out. All right. I'll have somebody there at 7:15. Oh, sure. Do you know of somebody else? Mrs. Kirby? All right. Will you tell her I'll have somebody there to stay with George? Yes, 7:15. And you're very welcome. Goodbye. You see, there's 3 already, Mother.
Well, I'm very proud of you, dear.
Just be careful who you send over to the Kirbys to take care of little George. Don't send any of your good friends.
Why not?
I fear that many babysitters have made that trip, and some have not returned.
Oh, Jim. George is just a normal, active 6-year-old.
Take my advice, Princess. Whoever draws that assignment should be equipped with a padded suit, a baseball bat, and the phone number of the police department.
Oh, you're exaggerating, dear. Come on, everything's on the table.
Let's go, Bud.
Yeah, I'm starved.
I'll be there in a minute, Mother. I want to see if I can line up some more people.
Before you make any more deals, Princess, I suggest you call your babysitters.
All right, I'll do that.
But have you washed your hands?
Sure, I washed them.
Yesterday?
No, it was today.
Go wash.
Holy cow.
Scalloped potatoes. Margaret, do you think this tie is a little too loud to wear to the meeting?
No, I don't think it will disturb anybody. Why?
I don't know. It just seemed to think it might be a little flashy if I'm going to be nominated to the school board.
You're really looking forward to this, aren't you?
Well, it's quite an honor, after all. Not everybody is asked to serve on the school board.
Kathy, come to the table.
I'm coming.
Bud.
I'm here. Potatoes, please.
Would you like me to serve them to you in the air or wait till you land?
Mommy, are you going to the meeting tonight with Daddy?
I wouldn't miss it for anything.
Well, it's all arranged, practically. Cheryl's line was busy, but I talked to Janie, and it's solid with her, and she's going to call Cheryl.
Which one is going to stay with little George?
I think I'll let Cheryl go over the Kirbys. She's the biggest.
Well, it was nice to have known Cheryl.
Oh, Father, you make him sound like a little monster.
Well, I didn't say anything. Fact is, I'm very proud of you, Princess, for rounding up your friends. Nothing should be allowed to keep people away from these meetings.
Well, the babysitting idea was all yours, Father. You deserve all the credit. Daddy's going to be a school board.
He isn't going to be a board, Lame Brain. He's going to be on the board.
Oh, that's probably Cheryl.
Take it in the breakfast room, dear.
Hello? Oh, hi, Cheryl. Did Janie call you? You can't.
Uh-oh.
I thought you weren't going to the dance. Gee, can you think of anybody else? Oh, fine. Have a simply splendid time. Goodbye. Oh, this is just dandy. Cheryl has a date. Now, I'll have to go to the Kirbys, and Janie will go to the Walkers. But who'll go to the Roberts? What about the Kirbys?
Yeah, who gets in the ring with Gorgeous George?
For goodness sake, where's Bud?
I'm coming.
Who was at the door?
That was Mrs. Kirby.
Oh, happy day. Did she stop to say they didn't need a babysitter?
No, they brought George over.
George?
Yeah. Here he is.
Hi.
Oh. Hello, George.
Hi.
Have you had your dinner, Georgie?
Yeah. Hi, George. Hi.
His folks are going out to dinner before the meeting. They wanted to know if it was okay to leave him here.
Kathy, why don't you go in the living room with George?
Alone?
Well, Bud'll go with you, won't you, Bud?
Oh, gee, Dad, I'm too young to die.
Come on, George.
Goodbye, cool world.
Oh, this is just peachy. I have to go to the Walkers. Mother has to go to the Roberts. Who's going to stay here and take care of George?
We can't leave him here with Bud and Kathy.
We can't take him with us.
Well, call Mr. Otis. Tell him I can't get to the meeting.
Oh, Father, no.
I don't know what else we can do, dear.
Fill up my plate, Margaret. We've always wondered if this house would stand up in a tornado. Well, we'll find out tonight.
Well, now, before the storm at the Andersons really breaks, let's take this moment of calm for a word from our friend Ed Prentice. Ed has some mighty good advice for you, especially if you haven't been as calm lately as you'd like to be. Ed?
Say, friend, how have you been feeling these days? Have you been sort of jittery, on edge? Well, it could be the caffeine in your coffee or tea that's been bothering you, stealing your sleep and making you nervous. I know, because caffeine bothered me plenty, until I switched to Postum. Good old instant Postum. Why don't you make the switch yourself? Believe you me, Postum really works. It ought to. It's absolutely caffeine-free. Contains no caffeine. None whatsoever. So you see, Instant Postum is a good hot drink you can enjoy anytime without risking coffee nerves, without losing your sleep. Now, of course, caffeine doesn't bother everybody. Lots of folks can handle it okay. But if it troubles you, just make that simple, easy switch to Postum. Try Postum for 30 days. Why not? See if you're not sleeping better, looking and feeling better, too. Thanks to Instant Postum. Oh, and say, the kids will like Postum, too. And, of course, you can give them Postum.
On the board, now finds himself saddled for the evening with the job of babysitter for Bud, Kathy, and one 6-year-old George Kirby, reputed to possess the destructive power of a Sherman tank and the disposition of a wounded tiger. How does Jim feel about this turn of fortune? Not good.
Well, Margaret, Betty promised she'd have somebody to take care of George. She can't go back on her word.
I know, dear, but you should go to that meeting.
It's just that all the girls are going to that ridiculous dance tonight. I tried to think of somebody I could get, Father. There just isn't a soul.
Well, it's only that I've waited so long to get on the school board.
Do you have to be there to be nominated?
Oh, Margaret, do you think they'd consider anyone for a position on the board if he couldn't even get to the meeting?
I suppose not. Wait. I think I know how we can do it, dear. The Walkers live just a couple of doors from Clyde and Edna Roberts. I'll take the Roberts baby over to the Walkers where Betty's going to be. She can take care of both of them, and I'll get back here in time for you to go to the meeting.
Not bad.
Daddy?
What, kitten?
I'm worried about George.
What's wrong, Angel?
He isn't doing anything.
Well, where's Bud?
He's in there watching him.
Well, we have to go, Betty. I'll get back as soon as I can, dear.
What are you going to do, Mother?
Well, I'll explain on the way over. Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, honey.
What are we going to do with George?
We'll see, kitten. Oh, Bud, come in the den a minute, will you?
What you want, Dad?
I want to talk to you and Kathy. Do you think you can entertain little George while I pick up the dinner dishes?
I got a better idea, Dad.
What?
You entertain him and we'll pick up the dishes.
I'll even wash him and dry him.
Well, I just thought you kids might play some games with him or something.
Not me, Daddy. I see him at school.
Oh?
He chases kids, even gives them a hit in the head.
George's father was taking a shower one day. George got a stool and poured a can of paint over the top of the shower door.
Oh, no.
His father was green.
None of the kids will play with him at school.
His own father won't play with him.
Doesn't he have any brothers or sisters?
No, there's just him.
All right, you kids go out and clean up the dishes. I'll go in and sit with George.
Poor Daddy.
If you need help, Dad, just holler.
I think I can manage. Well, hello there, Georgie.
Hi.
Hey, those look like new shoes.
Yep.
Bet you just got those this morning.
Yep.
Well, you're a pretty fine little boy.
I'm a stinker.
What? You? Oh, no, I don't think so.
Everybody says I am.
Well, I don't believe it. You know how I can tell you're a regular fella?
How?
Because you have pennies behind your ears.
Do I?
Sure you do. Look here, I'll bet I can find a penny behind this ear right here.
That tickles.
Well, what do you know? Here it is. Just growing right on your head there.
Did you find that back there?
Sure. I knew you were a fine fella. Hey, and look here. Penny on the other side, too.
How do you do that?
Why, they were just sticking right on your head there.
Let me look behind your ears. No, you don't have any.
Well, I guess I don't know how to grow them. You'll have to show me the trick.
I don't know how I do it.
You like to ride on trains, George?
Sure.
All right, let's you and I take a train ride.
How?
Well, I'll show you. You sit up here on my lap, like this. Now, we've got a little train that's just big enough for you and me. And we're sitting up in the cab of the engine. Can you see all right down the tracks there?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a big, long string of cars behind us, and we're going to take our train on a long trip. Now, where'll we go?
Let's go out west.
All right. We're going out where the cowboys are. Now, take a good look down the track. Be sure there's no cows or anything out there.
No, I don't see any.
Okay, you're the engineer. Now, let's give her some steam.
Okay.
Oh, boy, we've got a heavy load on this train. Think we can pull it?
I'll give her some more steam.
Hey, now we're going.
Hey, Dad.
What? Huh?
How's it going?
We got a train, Bud.
A train?
Where's the train? Right here. We're the engine. Want to get on? I do. Come on, Bud.
Who, me?
I'm on.
Get on, Bud. We're behind schedule.
Well, okay, but...
All aboard?
All aboard.
Ready, Mr. Anderson?
Sure. Turn on the steam.
Blow the whistle. Toot. I hope it stays on the track.
Oh, this is a solid train. She'll get us there. Hold on. We're going around a curve.
Look at her go.
You're a good engineer, George.
I'll get you there.
Hey, Dad. What goes with George?
What?
Has he slugged you yet?
I got pennies behind my ears.
You got what?
Say, we're out on the prairies. It's getting dark. We better stop the train and camp for the night.
Okay, I'll put on the brake.
All right, we're stopped. Boy, our little train's tired from that long run. Let's give it a rest and we'll make camp. Now stake out the horses, Bud.
We got horses?
Sure, they were on the train.
Kathy, you go out and forage for food, and George and I'll put up the camp.
I'll get some cookies and milk out of the kitchen.
That'll be our chow.
Yeah, let's eat.
Is this our camp here?
Yeah, right down here between the two chairs. That's good and protected. If there are any unfriendly Indians, they won't see our campfire.
If my daddy comes, we'll hide.
Oh, no, he's a friendly Indian.
We're a long way from home, aren't we?
Yeah, we're way out in the Wild West. Big mountains out there against the sky. Cowboys watching the cattle.
This is sure fun.
Yeah, this is the life.
Mr. Anderson, do you like me?
Why, sure I do, George.
Nobody else does.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody wants to like you.
They won't play with me.
Well, maybe they think you don't want to play with them.
But I do.
Well, George, it's just like it used to be back in the days when the first white men traveled out into the Indian country. Some of the white men had heard that the Indians were very bad, so they went right out and started shooting at the Indians. Well, the Indians said, "White man bad," and they started shooting too. They had a lot of trouble.
Weren't the Indians bad?
Well, not all of them. Now, some white men were wiser than the others. They didn't start right out shooting. They made friends with the Indians, didn't try to hurt them. And the Indians trusted these white men and liked them, and they showed them where to find food and water.
Really?
Sure. And it's the same thing with you and the other children. If you show them you want to be their friend, like those first white men did with the Indians, then they'll be friends to you, and everybody will like you.
You think so?
Why, sure. You try it tomorrow and see.
Okay.
You know, partner, the cattle are all bedded down, the moon's dipping pretty low over the mountain yonder. It's about time we got a little shut-eye.
I'm not sleepy.
Well, we'll just sit up here in the chair. This'll be a big cave in the hillside. Now, you put your head on my shoulder and keep a sharp eye on those cattle out there. Don't close your eyes.
I won't.
Hey, Daddy.
Yes, what?
Can I get up on your lap, too?
All right. Now, be very quiet, kid.
Daddy, George looks different. He doesn't look mean at all.
He isn't. He's a good little fellow.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
I'll get it, Dad.
All right. You two cowboys settle down. Now, the cattle are quiet. I don't think we'll have any rustlers tonight. Moon is riding high. Big old stars up there.
Hey, Dad, it's Mom on the phone. She's going to come home so that you can go to that meeting.
Well, tell her not to bother, Bud. We have a pretty important meeting right here. always reminds me that life is swell when you keep well. Another thing it reminds me of is new Post 40% Bran Flakes, because they really are good, and so good for you. You see, something wonderful has happened to Bran. That's why new Post Bran Flakes now taste so delicious. Yes, Post Bran Flakes have a magic oven flavor and crisper texture that's fast making it the favorite cereal of folks everywhere. And important, too, it always gives you those vital keep regular benefits that Bran is famous for. That's why, Mother, I suggest that you buy new Post 40% Bran Flakes when you shop this weekend. They're America's largest selling Bran Flakes.
Well, it's a day or two later in the white frame house on Maple Street, and life has resumed its normal pattern. Well, normal for the Andersons. Betty is on the phone talking to Ralph. Bud and Kathy are taking their turn at the dishes, and Jim and Margaret find themselves in possession of that rare prize, a moment to talk to each other. Like this.
I've been wondering, dear, how you felt about not being nominated for the school board.
Oh, I'm managing to hide my broken heart.
I was awfully sorry.
Oh, I wasn't really, honey. They got a good man, and I don't know, I got a real kick out of that evening with little George.
By the way, several people have told me there's been a big change in George. Even his mother remarked about it. What'd you say to him the other night?
I don't remember. We just talked.
He plays with the other children now. He's happy at school. And the most amazing thing, Mrs. Kirby says, is that George and Mr. Kirby have suddenly become great friends. Actually play together.
Oh, that's fine.
There's just one thing she wanted me to be sure.
America's largest selling Bran Flakes and Instant Postum, the drink that's entirely caffeine-free. In our cast were Helen Strome as Kathy, Dorothy Lovett, Rhoda Williams, Ted Donaldson, and Ronald Keith.
It's the best hot cereal you ever ate. Post Wheatmeal, the best hot cereal anybody ever ate. Rich and delicious with a nut-like flavor you'll never want to miss. And hot Post Wheatmeal is so good for you. Packed full of solid whole wheat nourishment, especially good for children. Post Wheatmeal takes just 3 minutes to cook. Get the big family economy size with a picture of Roy Rogers on the package. Post Wheatmeal, the best hot cereal you ever ate.
Father Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Paul West. This is Bill Foreman speaking.
Tonight, play Truth or Consequences on NBC.
Stay tuned to HOJO Radio.
Mother, are Post 40% Bran Flakes really the best tasting cereal of them all?
Well, your father says so, and Father knows best.
Yes, it's Father Knows Best, transcribed in Hollywood, starring Robert Young as Father. A half-hour visit with your neighbors, the Andersons. Brought to you by America's largest-selling Bran Flakes. Post 40% Bran Flakes, and by Instant Postum, the good-tasting drink that's entirely caffeine-free. Well, this is about the time of year when a person begins to think how nice it would be to get away for a while. Just a couple of days. Of course, it isn't always easy, but it's worth trying. At least that's the way Jim Anderson feels this afternoon as he heads the family car in the general direction of the white frame house on Maple Street. There he goes up grand, turns on 4th, and hey, there's Bud trudging home from school. Bud? Oh, Bud?
Oh, hi, Dad. Going home?
Sure, get in.
Yeah, thanks.
How'd school go today?
Pretty good. You coming home early?
Yes, I closed up the office this afternoon. I'm going to take a couple of days off.
Got a new suit, huh?
Yep. Stopped at the barber shop. Got a shave and a haircut.
Good idea. You don't have to shave for a couple of days now.
Well, that isn't exactly the idea. I thought I'd take your mother and just the two of us have a little holiday. Go away for a couple of days, maybe.
You are? I guess Mom will be surprised. What's in the box here?
Flowers.
Flowers?
Certainly. A dozen red roses.
Holy cow.
You'll learn as you grow older, son, that there's nothing pleases a woman quite so much as to have a husband come home early, all spruced up, bring her flowers,
Say, honey, you look beautiful. Women love that sort of thing.
You think Mom will be home?
Oh, of course. By this time in the afternoon, she probably has her work finished. I imagine she's lying on the couch, relaxing, reading a book, just taking it easy.
You're getting soap in my eyes.
Well, close your eyes. I can't get this paint off without soap.
Mother!
I'm out in the service porch, Betty.
Don't scrub so hard.
You have green paint clear down to your toes.
Mother, do you know where... For Pete's sake, what happened?
Oh, Kathy was climbing up the shelves in the garage and a can of paint fell down. Stand still, Kathy.
Why can't I take a bath in a bathtub?
Because I don't want a green bathroom. It's going to be hard enough to clean this laundry tub.
Oh, Mother, you're a sight.
I can't brush the hair out of my eyes with soap all over my hands.
Here, I will, Mommy.
No, Angel.
Oh, murder. Now you've got a smear of green paint across your face.
Oh, no.
I didn't know it was on my hands.
Well, what's the difference? I'm drenched, splattered, and before this happened, the bag came off the vacuum cleaner. Sit down in the tub, Kathy.
Okay.
Oh, Kathy!
Soap suds all over everything. What are you trying to do, drown us? Mommy said to sit down in the tub.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I've given up.
Oh, Mother, if Father could only see you now.
Well, you won't be home for another hour or so. Maybe I'll have a chance.
Front door, Mommy.
See who it is, Betty.
Oh, I can't go to the door. I'm not even dressed.
All right, stay here with Kathy. I'll go.
Now wash your hands, infant. They got paint on them. You wash them. Well, sit still and don't touch anything.
All right, I'm coming. Well, if I ever get through this day. Yes, what are you... Oh!
Is Mrs. Anderson... Margaret!
Jim! What are you doing home?
I thought I'd surprise you.
You did.
Well, honey, what happened?
Well, I'm not quite sure, dear. This has been one of those days that... Ah!
Margaret, what was that for?
I just saw myself in the mirror. Dear, maybe you're in the wrong house. Why don't you just go down the street and pick out another one?
Has something gone wrong today?
Well, the roof hasn't fallen in. See who's at the door, dear.
Oh, Bud.
I got locked out. Hi, Mom. Anything to eat in the icebox?
I don't know, Bud. Go and look.
How do you like that? Pretty sharp, huh?
Yes. Certainly looks nice.
So do you.
Me?
Yeah. You look comfortable. Boy, I'm hungry.
Jim, I wonder if we should have his eyes examined.
Mother!
Yes?
This thing is clean, practically. I can't get any more of the paint off.
We'll have to let the rest wear off. You'll find her clean clothes on the ironing board.
What happened, honey?
Oh, among other things, Kathy spilled paint all over herself. The vacuum cleaner blew up. And I've had at least 20 phone calls about the PTA carnival. I haven't stopped since 8 o'clock this morning. How can you stand to look at me?
You always look fine to me, honey. You know that. Just to prove it, look here. Flowers for my best girl.
Oh, Jim. Red roses.
I had a brilliant thought this afternoon. Things are quiet, so I said to myself, this is a good time to take a day or two off. I stopped at the tailor's, picked up my new suit, bought the flowers, and here we are. We have a holiday. Let's get in the car and go someplace.
You mean just leave?
No, you can change your dress if you want to. But let's just take off. We'll go up to Indian Spring. Oh, come back tomorrow night. Betty and Bud are old enough to hold down the house. The Davises are right next door.
Well, it's a wonderful idea, dear, only...
Now, don't try to think of reasons why we can't go.
Oh, I'm not, but there are so many things to do.
There's nothing that can't wait. You let the little things around the house become too important. All you have to do is set them aside for one day. They'll keep.
Well...
It's simply a matter of deciding to go. And going.
All right. But I have to go up and try to make myself look like a human being. Do you want to go out and see how Kathy's getting along?
I'll handle things down here. You go ahead. Kathy? Betty?
We're out here, Father. I finally got this child dress. How do you like my yellow dress, Daddy?
It goes very nice with your pale green eyebrows.
Excuse me, Father. May I use the phone?
Oh, certainly, Princess.
You going to the movie with us tonight, Daddy?
Well, not tonight, kitten. You see...
Mommy's going. She's taking Patty Davis and me.
Well, but,
Why don't you go with us, Daddy? It's Friday night. Hello, Ralph. Daddy, I found the skate. You wouldn't have to pay for us. Just for your own ticket.
Well, I'd like to go with you, kitten, but,
Well,
Mommy
let's
and
pick
I...
up Janie and then swing by your house. What's wrong with that car?
Oh, Bud, what are you bringing in here?
Excuse me, Ralph. Bud, take that greasy old piece of machinery out of the kitchen.
I gotta bring it in here.
What is it?
It's the motor out of my motor scooter. I've gotta fix it.
Father, make him take it out. The whole house smells of dirty old oil. Hello, Ralph. Well, I'd much rather go with you. Bud, don't lean that against the refrigerator.
Look, Bud, can't you fix that out in the garage?
There's not enough light out there.
Well, take it out on the back porch.
It's cold out there.
The car won't run at all, huh? Oh, only backwards. That's no good. Look, I know. My father will drive us over, and we'll pick up Janie on the way.
Now, wait. No.
Thanks, Dad. It's a lot easier to work on it in here.
I was talking
No,
to Betty.
that's all right. He was talking to Bud. No, they aren't going out tonight. Mother was I'll see you about 7:30. Bye.
Princess, listen, I can't drive you anyplace tonight.
That's all right, Father. Mother will do it. How can she do that? Mommy's going to the movies with it.
I got one spark out of it, Dad.
Bud, you can't work on that motor here in the kitchen. Take it down to the basement.
Okay. Well, help me carry it, will you?
All right. Get hold of it.
Don't grab the carburetor. It's just tied on with rope.
I'm going up and ask Mommy. She said she was going to take us to the movies.
Watch it, Dad. Don't lift it by the timer. That's held on by tape.
But is there any part of this thing that's securely fastened to any other part?
Maybe we ought to carry it in a bag.
Just put it in the corner on some newspapers for the time being, Bud. I have to talk to your mother.
Oh, that's right. You were going to go someplace. When are you leaving?
I don't know, Bud. Margaret?
Why don't you just go?
Yes, dear.
Will you come downstairs a minute? I'm going in the den, Bud.
That's what I do. I just go.
What do you want, Jim?
Come in the den a second.
Problems?
Margaret, what are all these things going on? Betty going out. Kathy says you promised to take her to the movies. What about our plans?
Well, dear, I was telling you there were a lot of things to be done. You see, the children make plans.
I know, but I think you and I deserve a little consideration. How often do we get a chance to take a little trip, just you and me?
Not very often, I'll admit.
The last time you and I took a trip together was 9 years ago. When the dog ran away, we went over to Brookdale to bring him back.
Well, dear, you know I'd like to go. If you can explain to the children.
You think that once in 9 years we could get away for just a day?
Well, I'm all for it. It's just that, well, Betty had this date for tonight.
Well, couldn't she make it for another night? Ralph isn't leaving town. Nothing that good would ever happen.
Well, I suppose she could. But I did tell Kathy.
Now, look, honey, we don't ask much of the children. They have it very easy. Couldn't they change their plans for us just this once?
Well, probably.
I sometimes think we put ourselves out too much for the kids. They begin to take things for granted. Now and then, I think we should put our foot down, take a firm, positive stand. Why can't they do a little favor for us, just once?
I don't know, dear. Why don't you ask them and see?
Why don't you ask them?
Well, I think it would carry more weight if you brought it up.
Well, we've changed our plans to accommodate them any number of times.
Well, let's talk it over with them.
That's the way to do it, of course. It wouldn't be right to just go out and slam the door in their faces.
It isn't as easy for the children to give up something they've planned as it is for us.
I know. Kathy's all dressed to go to the movies. Betty's got her skates and everything for this ice party or whatever it is.
Well, let's tell them what we'd like to do.
Yes. See how they feel about it.
Betty! Kathy!
What?
want?
Come in the den, kitten. We're going to have a meeting.
Goody. I'll sit over here.
You calling me, Dad?
Yes, we're having a little meeting here.
Uh-oh.
What's going on, Mother? It's a meeting. Will it take long? I have a million things to do.
No, it'll probably be over very quickly.
What have we done, Dad?
You haven't done anything. It's not that kind of a meeting. Mother and I have something we wish to discuss with you. It's about tonight.
Are you going to the movies with us?
We'll see, kitten. Now, this is what happened. I was able to get away from the office for a couple of days, so I thought perhaps Mother and I might take a little trip. Just the two of us. It's been a long time since we've been anywhere together. We were going to leave this afternoon. But since you children had plans for this evening, we felt it was only fair to see how you felt about it.
I think it's an utterly beautiful, simply gorgeous idea.
You do?
Can't we go? Of course not, silly. They don't want people tagging along.
It isn't that we don't want you.
I think it's the most wonderful, romantic thing I've ever heard. That my mother and father want to go someplace alone, together.
But, Princess, it'll mean that you'll have to...
Cancel my date tonight? Who cares? I'd 10,000 times rather see you and Mother go on this trip. It'll be like your second honeymoon. Can I help you pack?
Of course, Angel.
What do you think, Bud?
I think the trouble is in the carburetor.
He's still thinking about that dumb old motor. Look, I'll call Ralph and tell him the date's off. Then we'll get the suitcases out of the attic. You wear your tweed suit, Mother, and take the blue one.
Now, do you children think you'll be all right here?
Oh, of course. What are you going to wear, Father?
Well, I planned on...
Just what you have on is fine. We'll pack your gray suit and a couple of sweaters. Come on, Bud. Let's go up and get the suitcases.
Okay. I'll wipe off the car for you.
I'll get your things out of the closet, Mother. Father, you'd better call Indian Springs for reservations.
All right, Princess. Don't pull on my coat.
Well, hurry. Quick, Mommy. Get things packed.
I will, Angel, but don't push.
Get a move on, Dad.
Margaret, what do you think?
Who's thinking? We're going.
Who's going? We're being thrown out.
Well, Jim and Margaret Anderson fully expected loud cries of protest from their offspring when they suggested they might take an overnight trip up to Indian Springs. But the junior residents of the White Frame House ran true to form and came right back for the unexpected. They were delighted. In fact, Jim scarcely had the words out of his mouth before Bud had the suitcases down from the attic and Betty and Kathy were packing. Like this.
Not the overcoat, Kathy. That doesn't go in the suitcase. Where do the shoes go? The shoes go in the suitcase. Then the overcoat has to go in the suitcase. Why? Because I got the shoes wrapped in the overcoat. Oh, grown. Take them out. Father has to wear his overcoat. Well, he has to wear shoes, too. Betty, where are the suitcases? Down here, Mother.
Why are we packing in the living room?
Well, Bud brought the suitcases down here from the attic, and then he was too tired to take them back up to your room, so we're packing down here.
Well, where is Bud?
He's carrying the clothes down from your room.
Well, it's an interesting way to do it.
Where am I?
Oh, Bud.
I can't see over this stack of clothes.
Put them down on the couch.
Kids, I deeply appreciate this magnificent effort, but we're only going to be gone one day, you know.
Well, you might need all this stuff.
You suppose we could dispense with the beach umbrella?
Do you have your robe and slippers, dear?
I think I saw them disappear into one of those cases.
Yeah, they're in. Clear down at the bottom of the big one.
I brought the slippers down from upstairs.
That's fine, kitten. Which pair did you bring down, the black ones or the brown ones?
I didn't know which ones you wanted, so I brought one of each. Oh, you're such a big help.
It's all right. She's trying.
Probably both for the left foot.
Well, never mind digging them out, Princess. I'll just walk in a circle.
Well, I think we must have everything.
What's that brown paper bag in there?
Bananas, you might get hungry.
They're not going into the wilderness, knucklehead.
Well, Indian Springs, that sounds pretty wilder. Let's see, Mother. I don't think we've forgotten anything. I'm sure there's nothing we've left out.
Better take a look in the kitchen, Bud. See if the stove is still there.
You'll wear your coats, and don't forget your flowers, Mother.
Oh, I must take the roses, yes. Help me shut these suitcases, and you stand on top.
Okay.
Wait till I get the lid down.
We'll call you, Princess, as soon as we get to the hotel up there.
And you have the phone number at Indian Springs, so you can call us.
Oh, don't worry, Mother. We'll get along just peachy.
Everything you need in the way of food is in the refrigerator. Oh, and get a dozen eggs from the milkman in the morning.
I told the Davises we were going, and they're going to open the window on the side facing our house. If anything happens, you just call.
We'll be okay. Don't worry.
Betty, if you and Bud want to have some of your friends over.
No, after dinner I'm going to get into my pajamas and read.
I'm going to work on my motor.
I'll throw in my doll clothes.
Well, take the car robe, honey. I'll carry the suitcases.
Goodbye, goodbye.
Wait till they get to the door, stupid.
Gee, I'm so thrilled you can go, Mother. Have a simply super devastating time.
We'll call you as soon as we get there. And go to the Davises if you need anything.
We will, Mother.
We'll be back tomorrow evening.
Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, Bud, old man.
Goodbye, Dad.
Goodbye, Angel.
Goodbye, Mommy.
Goodbye, Princess.
Goodbye, Bud.
Goodbye, Father.
Goodbye, Mom.
Goodbye, Chippy.
Goodbye.
You good, won't you?
I will.
Goodbye, darling.
Have a good time.
Sure to lock all the doors.
We will.
Be sure you have a good dinner.
We will.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Margaret, they went in the house and closed the door.
Well, what did you expect, dear?
Well, I thought maybe they'd wait till we got in the car. Well, let's go.
Nice night to drive.
Yes. The paper said clear tonight and tomorrow. There's showers in the northern part of the state in the morning, clearing in the afternoon.
Certainly seems good. Get away, doesn't it?
Yes. Certainly seems good. Been a long time.
Yes. It's been a long time.
I'm enjoying it already. Aren't you?
Oh, yes. It feels like we're on a trip now, doesn't it?
We are on a trip.
That's right.
I haven't even thought about the office or the house or anything. Have you?
No. I'm just enjoying the trip.
The children have probably finished dinner. Getting ready for bed now.
I hope they'll be warm enough.
How long have we been gone?
7 minutes.
The paper said showers in the northern part of the state. Could get some rain in Springfield.
It looked a little like rain when we left.
Margaret, did you close the window in our room?
Was it open?
I believe it was. I believe I remember opening it.
Oh, I didn't close it.
Betty doesn't know it's open, and it could rain in.
What do you think?
Well, we're only a few minutes away from home. We could go back and tell the kids about the window. Wouldn't take but a few minutes.
We don't want it to rain in on the rug.
No, we'd better go back. I guess the children are all right. Lights on in the living room and the kitchen.
I can see the windows in our room are closed.
Oh. Well, I suppose everything else is all right.
Yeah, it looks all right.
Might be fun to kind of look in. See how they're getting along.
Well, it is the first time we've left them.
They tried to be brave about it when we left. Didn't want us to think they'd miss us, you know.
Before we go, I guess we could just take a peek in the kitchen window.
There's Kathy going through the dining room. Look at that. She's got her big Raggedy Ann doll.
How she's growing.
There's Betty in the kitchen. She's peeling potatoes.
I guess she has Bud making a salad.
Kathy's going to set the table.
Looks warm and comfortable in there, doesn't it?
Such a cold night. You, want to put your hands in my pockets?
I suppose we should go, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I suppose. Margaret, looking at Bud in there, he seems to have kind of a sad, lonely look on his face.
Betty doesn't seem to be smiling. Oh, there. She laughed.
Brave girl. Keeping up the spirits of the other two.
You getting cold, dear?
Yeah, a little. I feel so sorry for those poor kids in there. Honey.
Yes?
Had enough?
Mm-hmm.
Kathy!
Betty, Bud, put 2 more plates on the table. We're home.
Many women have felt that the keep regular benefits of bran were so important, they've given it to the family for breakfast, even when the folks were not keen about its flavor. Well, you'll be happy to know that something wonderful has happened to bran. You see, new Post 40% bran flakes now taste different. They're really delicious because they have a new magic oven flavor and crisper, tempting texture. Fact is, they taste so good, lots of folks now prefer Post bran flakes to any other cereal. This means, Mother, that now you can serve Post 40% bran flakes to your family and know that they're getting their keep regular benefits, their daily ounce of prevention, in a cereal that they'll always enjoy eating. Doesn't it make sense for you to start serving Post bran flakes regularly, Mother? Be sure to buy new Post 40% bran flakes, America's largest selling bran flakes. You'll find out that they're so good. And
Just speak. Look at Jim and Margaret Anderson. They completed a 24-hour holiday in just 14 minutes. But at any rate, quiet and content with rain again in the white frame house on Maple Street. Kathy has gone to the movie with Patty Davis and her mother. Betty has gone to her skating party, and Jim and Margaret, second honeymooners, have the living room to themselves. Like this.
I don't think the children will ever understand why we came back.
someday they will.
I wonder if we're getting stuffy.
Stuffy? Just because we like our home and our children?
No, I don't mean that. They say it's a sign that you're getting stuffy when you stop liking things peaceful and quiet.
Where'd you hear that?
I read it in a magazine somewhere.
Getting stuffy if you like peace and quiet, huh?
Well, you can understand how there might be some truth to it.
I suppose.
Yeah, I got it running.
Well, that's fine, son. You're right, Margaret. I'm stuffy. But shut that thing off!
Join us again next week. We'll be back with Father Knows Best, starring Robert Young as Jim Anderson. Until then, good night and good luck from the makers of Post 40% Bran Flakes, America's largest selling bran flakes, and Instant Postum, the drink that's entirely caffeine-free. In our cast were Dorothy Lovett as Margaret, Rhoda Williams, Ted Donaldson, and Helen Strome.
Mom, I think you're beautiful.
Well, thank you, Johnny.
You're the most beautiful woman in the whole world.
Thank you, Johnny.
Mom.
Yes, Johnny?
Can I have wheatmeal for breakfast tomorrow?
Sure. Make him happy, Mom, with the best hot cereal anywhere. Post Wheatmeal is packed full of solid nourishment, great for kids, and so wonderfully delicious. Post Wheatmeal cooks in just 3 minutes. Try rich, hot Post Wheatmeal with a picture of Roy Rogers on the package. Post Wheatmeal, the best hot cereal you ever ate. Bob and Knows Best was transcribed in Hollywood and written by Paul West. This is Bill Foreman speaking.
NBC interrupts this program to repeat a special bulletin. Moscow Radio has announced the death of Joseph Stalin. Death was at 11:50 a.m. United States Central Time. The announcement was held up almost 7 hours. This bulletin came to you from the NBC newsrooms in Hollywood. Keep tuned for later developments.
Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with I See the Moon at Noon. A very pleasant word in any language is that 8-letter word, vacation. A chance to get away, have a rest, have fun, visit new and beautiful places. A vacation is certainly something to look forward to all year. But how would you housewives like to have a vacation every week? A relief and rest from back-breaking work that is so unnecessary. You can, thanks to Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, the easy-to-use floor polish that makes linoleum and other floors sparkle with beauty, that saves work all year long because it needs no rubbing or buffing. And not only that, but Glow Coat saves work by making it so easy to keep floors spotless and clean. How do you use Glow Coat? Simply apply and let dry. In 20 minutes, your kitchen linoleum, for example, will be gleaming, protected against wear and dirt. Spilled things are quickly wiped up with a damp cloth. And Glow Coat makes linoleum last so much longer. If you're not already a Glow Coat user, just buy a can from your dealer right away. Ask for Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. Looking through the family photograph album is guaranteed to arouse memories of days which have passed. Thank goodness. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, the family's Rogues Gallery is getting a once-over light from Fibber McGee and Molly.
And here's the baby picture of you, McGee.
Oh, sure.
No, don't turn the page. I want to look at it.
Molly, I haven't got any clothes on.
Don't be silly. Stop blushing. It's just a baby picture.
Any photographer who would take advantage of an innocent baby and take a picture like that is a menace to society, and he should be...
My, you look so bright and interested in the world.
Yeah. If I'd have been a little brighter and knew what I know now, I wouldn't have been so interested. Now, turn the page, Molly. That embarrasses me.
All right.
Uh-oh. Get a load of you in the 1916 bathing suit. You couldn't really swim in that Eskimo ensemble, could you? Where's the oars?
Well, as I remember it, dearie, it was considered more ladylike to stick one toe in the water, scream delicately, and then walk up the beach looking for pretty pebbles which weren't very pretty when they dried out.
Oh, well, I liked it. Hey, who's the handsome lifeguard in this picture with you?
Don't you know?
No.
That was Stinky Hinckley that I used to go to school with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look over here. Snapshot of Uncle Dennis.
Uh-uh.
He always wore those open-collar sports shirts.
He had to. There's a guy who's got to have plenty of elbow room for his Adam's apple.
Now, Uncle Dennis isn't so bad. You're inclined to exaggerate his weakness.
It'd be hard to exaggerate his weakness. That guy's had more swallows than Capistrano.
Ah, well, he isn't so bad. Oh, look. Here's a picture of you in your army uniform.
Oh.
Ah, my soldier boy.
Hey, boy.
A little baggy in the puttees, but still my soldier boy.
I think those uniforms were designed by the same guy who made your 1916 bathing suit.
Still, it was a pretty good army for the shapes they were in it. Say, what was your rank, McGee?
I was a gold brick.
Were you really? Is that better than lieutenant?
It was better for me at the time.
Ah, now here's the picture I really love. Aunt Sarah.
Oh, good old Aunt Sarah. I remember. Oh, remember the time she kicked the horse?
Well, the horse kicked her first. Say, what became of that good picture of me on this page?
I don't know. It sits around someplace.
But I want to know. Heavenly days, if you're that careless with a picture of me, why, I want to be...
All right. If you must know, I'm carrying it in my wallet.
Ah, McGee.
Yeah.
Ah, do you always have it with you?
I better have. It's got my Social Security number on the back of it.
All right. I don't know why men hate to admit they're sentimental.
Protective instinct, I guess. A coconut looks tough, too, but where does it wind up? On top of a cake at a tea party. Hey, what did we start looking at this album for, anyway?
Because I promised Aunt Sarah nice pictures.
Oh, yeah.
But there's none of these I'd want to use. Say, let's go downtown right now and get some decent pictures taken.
No sooner said than the monkey grabbed it. Get your hat and let's go. Gee, I'm glad I shaved this morning because... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. I'm sorry, I haven't got time to talk to you now. I got to go downtown and have our pictures taken.
Why?
Well, on account of our Aunt Sarah wanted one.
Why?
Well, because she kind of likes us.
Why?
Because... Can't you say anything but why?
Sure.
Well, why don't you?
Why?
Never mind. What do you want, sis? Oh, I suppose you're hungry again.
No, mister, I'm not hungry.
You're not? Well, fan me with a flagstone. What's the matter, sis? Don't you feel good?
Sure I do, I bet you, but I'm just not hungry. Gee, I couldn't even go to the dog scorch this afternoon.
Well, that's to the what?
The dog scorch.
Huh?
Weenie roast to you, mister. You know, the teacher gave a weenie roast for all the kids on account of school letting out for the summer.
Oh, I see. And you just didn't feel up to downing a roasted rover, eh?
No. When I saw my final report card, I was so afraid to show it to my mom and papa, I guess I just kind of lost my appetite, I guess.
Well, that's silly to lose your appetite over a little thing like that. Your parents will see your report card sooner or later anyway.
Oh, no, they won't.
Oh, yes, they will.
Oh, no, they won't.
Oh, well, why won't they?
'Cause I ate it.
Ooh.
the Wistful Vista Photo Studio, dearie?
Corner of 14th and Oak. We'll be there in a minute.
I wonder if we should have called up and made an appointment.
You know what we'd have got if we had, don't you?
What?
Mert.
Well, I just thought...
Well, hello there, kids. Where are you going?
Oh, we're going to the photograph studio, Mr. Oldtimer.
What for? Gonna get your pictures took?
What do you think we're going there for, you old dodo? Take a rumba lesson?
No, don't say rumba to me, Johnny. I'm just smack dab wore out from it. Danced till 4 o'clock this morning.
Heavenly days, 4 o'clock. When did you start?
About 2, daughter. And I was tired when I started because I'd been bowling all evening.
Bowling all evening? Well, that's a pretty strenuous schedule for a guy your age, old-timer.
Oh, it wouldn't have been so bad, Johnny, but on top of the 36 holes of golf yesterday afternoon...
What? Dear, oh dear, 2 rounds of golf, then bowling till 2 a.m. and dancing till 4? Why, aren't you overdoing it a little?
Might be at that, daughter. I guess I'm slipping. I'd even have to give up running 5 miles before breakfast.
Hey, now, wait a minute. You mean to tell us, old-timer, that you run 5 miles every day before breakfast?
Rainy days, Johnny.
Oh.
Nice days, I go 10.
Oh.
Kind of tones me up. But I don't know, last few days I've been getting kind of droopy. Don't seem to have any pep. Just sort of, oh, sweet Jiminy.
What's the matter?
Just remembered. Sorry, kids, you'll have to excuse me. Huh? I'm in a handball tournament down the athletic club. I'll see you later.
Well, he's certainly got a lot of pep for his age, hasn't he, McGee?
For his age, he's got a lot of pep for my age.
Yeah, but he can't keep up that pace. Why, he'll burn himself out before he's 110. Come on, dearie, here's the studio.
Yeah.
How do you do? Did you wish to make an appointment?
No, we don't, sis. We come in to get some pictures taken.
But you didn't have an appointment?
No, we didn't.
Have we got to have an appointment?
Yes, you do.
Can we make one right now?
For what time?
Right now.
Certainly. Just sit down and we'll take care of you in just a few moments. May I ask your name, please?
Fibber McGee, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I suppose you brought your daughter in for a graduation photo?
Thank you, dearie. Just for that, I'll take an extra dozen.
They usually do.
Well, what we came in here for, sis?
Nay, what an ordeal. Please send me proofs as soon as possible, my dear. These pictures are for the society section.
Oh, certainly, Mrs. Uppington. Which one do you think you'll like?
I think I prefer the one showing me cantering through the park on my favorite horse. And oh, my, how do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy.
So you've been mugged for the society section, have you, dearie? And what's this about your favorite horse?
Oh, just background, my dear. One's public demands a certain stage setting for we society folk, you know.
I'd like to take a gander at you cantering through the park, Uppy, with or without a horse. I'll bet you're the cream of the riding crop.
Say, didn't I see your picture in a magazine giving a testimonial for Kurtelmeyer's ketchup, Abigail?
Possibly you did, my dear. I do a great deal of that sort of thing in my position, you know. The proceeds go to charity.
Oh, that's very sweet, Uppy. You ever go in for billboards?
Yes. Yes, but I gave that up, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
The passers-by were quite disrespectful, and I don't look well in a mustache. Oh, are you here to sit for a portrait?
Yes, we are, Abigail, and I hope we get some good ones.
Oh, I think you'll find this firm does excellent work, my dear. They've taken some very glamorous portraits of me.
Well, Mrs. Uppington, if they could take glamorous...
McGee! Don't say it.
Don't say what?
What we were both thinking.
Okay, I won't, but I'm telling you, it was a nifty. You want one of our pictures when we get them, Uppy?
Oh, I would dearly love to have another one of you. Thank thank you. I still have one of Mrs. McGee.
Oh, didn't you have one of McGee, too?
Oh, yes, a life-size head.
Oh.
But last fall, my little nephew saw it on the piano and insisted on having it.
Oh, he did, eh? Well, hero worship, you know, Uppy. There's something about an older, dignified man that kids instinct.
Oh, no. It wasn't that, Mr. McGee.
It wasn't?
No, he cut the eyes out of it and was using it as a Halloween mask. Goodbye.
Hero worship, is it?
Oh, well, shucks. I remember her, nephew. A born gangster, if I ever saw one. Why, personally, I think of that...
Okay, Ernie. I'll come back and try it again next week.
Hi, Harlow.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, folks.
What's the matter with you, Harlow?
I'm unhappy. I came in here to have my picture taken, and what happened? I can't get rid of this smile.
Well, can't you even sober up for a minute?
No, I can't. I'm so darn happy about the popularity of Johnson's Wax and how it's saving hours of housework and making homes beautiful and charming that I just can't help smiling.
Well, I'll wipe that smile off your face, my friend. Just think of the years of monthly payments you'll have on that new house of yours.
Yeah. How about all that new furniture?
Got to pay for it, yeah.
That's one thing that makes me so happy. Think of the fun I'll have Johnson waxing it. Oh, boy. Well, I'll see you later, folks. Maybe next week I won't be so happy.
Poor Mr. Wilcox. He takes his work so to heart.
Well, he's got to. His heart's in his job, and his job's in Racine, so how long we got to wait to have our pictures taken, sis?
It won't be long now, Mr. McGee. But this is our busy season, you know.
Oh.
Graduation time, weddings, vacation. You better comb your hair. It's a mess.
Here, McGee, take this comb and brush up a bit.
Well, let's see if I... Oh, hi, Throckmorton, old man. What are you
Well,
doing
hello, McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee. I'll be with you in a moment. I say, Miss Jones, are my movie films ready yet?
I'll take a look, Mr. Gildersleeve. They should be.
Yeah, thank you. Well, what are you doing here, folks?
We're going to have our pictures taken, Mr. Gildersleeve.
My goodness, why didn't you tell me? I'd have done it for nothing. I'm quite a photographer, you know. I've had some of my work in the best exhibitions all over the state.
Yeah. I've seen some of your work, and I know all about it.
Yep.
If one of your pictures turns out so dark it don't make sense, you develop it kind of fuzzy and call it Nocturne or Moonlight over Lake Winnemucca or something.
Now, I've seen some of your work, Mr. Gildersleeve, and I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
McGee is just jealous.
Jealous my left hind foot. Gildersleeve's the kind of a photographer who takes pictures of a girl and a bulldog and calls it Beauty and the Beast. He ain't had an original thought since he was 3 years old and crawled behind the Victrola looking for Mary Garden.
No, look here, you little prevaricator. I won't...
Hold it, Gildersleeve, hold it. Well, what did you call me?
A prevaricator.
Oh, you did. Well, you call... Hey, Molly, what's a prevaricator?
A liar.
Oh, that. Okay, what were you about to say, Gildersleeve?
I was about to say that if you don't stop this eternal disparaging, these derogatory comments of yours, by George, one of these days, I'm going to wade into you.
Go on, you wouldn't wade into the kitchen sink without a lifeguard sitting on the soap dish.
Why, you repulsive little reprobate. One more insult from you, and I'll pin your ears back with a couple of your own teeth.
Why, you overgrown puffball, you. You lay a hangnail on me, and I'll whip you unconscious with a shoestring.
That did it. Put up your hands, McGee, and we'll have this out right here now.
Oh, now, just a minute, boys. This is no place.
Let him start something, Molly. Meantime, call the hospital and reserve him twin beds, because I'm going to tear him in two.
You're going to tear two in who? I mean you're going to tear who in two, you little...
Here are your films, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What? Oh, thank you very much. My goodness, I hope these come out good. Drop in tonight, folks, and I'll run them off for you.
Oh, okay, Gildy. What time?
How's 8 o'clock?
Fine, we'll be there.
Splendid. Good day, Mrs. McGee. So long, little chum.
So long, Ducky.
The King's Men sing the Chul song, but not from Faust.
On a path in the park in old New York, a boy and the girl were taking a walk. They pledged their love in double talk. They were really cooing it.
Now they got me doing it. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la-chagarack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pookie-diddle-la-boo. So real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la-chagarack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pookie-diddle-la-boo. So real. The tune is teasy, so cool and breezy. Just take it easy. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la-chagarack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pookie-diddle-la-boo. So real. I met with a gal and her name was Vasily. Sight of her, sight Vasily, won't you be less chilly? You should have seen the change come over that filly. Pookie-diddle-la-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la-chagarack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see Vasily by the wheel, pookie-diddle-la-boo, so real.
Now slice it thick or slice it thin. It ain't where you're going, it's where you've been. This is just where I came in.
Pookie-diddle-la-boo, so real. No rhyme, no reason, but kind of pleasing. Always in season. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la-chagarack, choo-la-barbecue. Last time I saw
silly by the wheel.
Pookie-diddle is a riddle with a fiddle in the middle. Took a diller in a bag of feather hay. Sure, sure, sure. How silly it makes you feel. Pookie-diddle-la-boo, so real. So real. So real. Never get a better with a diller in a bag of feather hay.
Hey, sis, how long we got to wait to have our pictures taken? We've been standing.
Yeah, we've been sitting here over a half an hour, dearie.
The photographer will take you next, I think. He's just finishing with his last sitting. Yes, there's the last customer before you. Is everything all right, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, yes, thank you very much, miss. I think everything will be just dandy.
Hi, Wimple.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Well, my goodness. Hello there.
You had your picture taken, Wimple?
Yes, I did. And now I can hardly wait to get home. Things are so happy there.
Oh, that's fine. You and your wife must be getting along better these days.
Oh, just peachy, Mr. McGee.
That's fine.
She's out of town.
Oh, is she having a pleasant vacation?
I don't know, but I am.
Look, Wimple, I'm not one to butt into a guy's married life, but if you're so miserable, why don't you threaten to walk out on her?
Oh, I did, Mr. McGee. It was last winter.
Mm-hmm.
I walked right up to her and said, Mrs. Wimple, I said, standing on my tiptoes and looking her right in the eye. Mrs. Wimple, I said, I think I'm going to run away.
Oh. Then what happened?
Well, nothing more was said about it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh.
Why not?
I couldn't get the adhesive tape off of my mouth.
Poor Mr. Wimple. You know, I sometimes think he enjoys his misery.
Sure he does. He dramatizes himself. And a worse piece of playwriting I never did see.
Mr. McGee, you and Mrs. McGee may go in the studio now.
Oh,
right in there.
Right, thank you, dearie. Come on, dearie.
Oh, boy. Oh, look at the equipment. Huh. This guy's got enough flood lamps to make us look as bright as the sunshine on the wings of the doves flying over the blue lakes of Killarney.
But it isn't complete.
Why not?
Well, there's no papier-mâché automobile to sit in. Or a big crescent moon.
Hey, where's the photographer? Hey, is anybody here?
Oh, you folks looking for somebody?
Yes, we're looking for you.
For me?
Yeah, we've been stalled long enough, Bud. Now get busy and take our pictures. Something pretty nice.
Oh, certainly. Something pretty nice, eh?
Yes.
I suppose you'd like a $20 job?
Heavenly days, $20. I could be painted in oil for $5 more.
I'd let them boil me in oil for $5 less. $20 $20. Is that the cheapest job you got, Bud?
No, we have a $15 special, and that's only $7.50 apiece, you know. It must be paid in advance. Otherwise, there's a slight carrying charge.
Well, all right. The best is none too good for us. Pay him, dearie.
What do you mean, pay him? Since when do we have to pay in advance to get our pictures taken?
Well, of course, if you prefer the $20 portrait, sir.
Here's $15. I'll make it snappy.
Certainly. Now, if you'll just sit on that bench there, face a little more this way, please. Oh, dear. That was clumsy of me.
You don't seem to know your way around your own studio, mister.
That sneering expression won't photograph well, madam. Smile, please. That's better. Now, wait till I arrange these lights a little. I have this...
Hey, quit shining them lights right in my eyes. I can't see a thing.
You're not supposed to see anything, sir. I'm the one who's taking the picture.
Oh.
Now, just relax and smile.
Like this?
Oh, that's marvelous, madam. Now, when I say go, I want you to hold perfectly still. This is a time exposure, you know. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Go.
Wish you'd hurry up. I want to sneeze.
I'm uncomfortable, too. I'm sitting on my purse.
Must be awful slow filming, Judy.
This is the longest double feature I ever sat through.
I can't hold it any longer, Molly. Hey, Bud, how much longer are you going to... Hey, you, photographer! Hey!
That's funny. You-ho, Mr. Photographer.
Hey, well, this is a fine state of how do you do. A fine way to run a studio. Hey, Bud, what's the idea?
Well. So you are Mr. and Mrs. McGee. I'm Mr. Backtrack, the photographer.
Well, how do you do, I'm sure.
Well, hi, Bud. You better tell your assistant that it ain't very polite to get a customer all set for a time exposure and then run out to lunch or something.
My assistant? Why, I have no assistant. I do my own work. Now, let me see. I think I'll pose you two against that drapery over there, if you don't mind.
Now, wait a minute. If you don't have any assistant, who just took our picture?
Well, I wouldn't know, madam. Who did?
Hey, what is this, a gag? Look, Bud, when we pay our $15 of our good money to have a picture taken, we expect...
$15?
Yeah.
Why, my fee's only $7.50, Mr. McGee.
Well, then why did your assistant collect $15 in advance?
I tell you, I have no assistant,
What?
and we never collect in advance. I haven't the slightest idea what you...
Oh, Mr. Backrack.
Oh, yes, Miss Jones?
That man who has been pestering us for that $15 electric light bill.
Yes?
He just poked his head in and said to never mind it.
Oh, thank you very much. And now then, about this portrait, Mr. McGee, how would you like to be taken?
You hear that, Molly?
Yes. How would we like to be taken, he says.
How would we like to be taken? I'll show you how we'd like to be taken, Si. That's how we'd like to be taken. Bucks in advance,
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment. In the meantime, I'd like to say a few words about that automobile of yours. Most of you have heard me sing the praises many times of good old Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, how it keeps floors so beautiful with so little work. What I'd like to point out to you tonight is that Johnson's Car New will do the same thing for your automobile. Keep it beautiful, greatly increase your pleasure in riding in it, add to its trade-in value. Do all these things besides saving you work. Car New is a labor saver because it both cleans and wax polishes your car in one application. Two jobs at the same time. Car New is a liquid. You massage it lightly over the finish of your car. It dries to a white powder. And when you wipe off this powder, you'll get one of the surprises of your life. Car New does a miraculous job of reviving the beauty of your car's finish. Car New costs very little. And now that the job is comparatively easy, why not decide to clean and wax polish your car with Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U.
Ladies and gentlemen, with vacation sneaking up on us in a couple of weeks, we think we ought to have you meet some of the people who have done such a swell job with us all this time.
That's a swell idea, McGee.
First, we want you to meet a young man who's been with us ever since we started. He plays the part of the old-timer, Nick DePoplis, and many others, including his latest character, Wallace Wimple. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Thompson. Bill? And next, a lady with a background of numerous Broadway shows and network broadcasts who plays the part of Mrs. Abigail Uppington, Isabel Randolph. Last but not least, our next-door neighbor and little chum's big chum, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, played by Harold Perry.
Thanks, little chum.
How about me, mister? You left me out. I'm really symbolical of this program, I bet you.
What you mean, sis?
We're both from Hungary.
Oh, sure. Good night.
Good night,
or good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and for industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
With so many things to do these days, you certainly want to save all unnecessary work, especially with summer calling you out of doors. There's no better reason for using Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat on your linoleum and other floors. Glow Coat is a labor saver because it keeps floors beautiful without any rubbing or buffing. Just apply and let dry. It saves linoleum, too, makes it last longer, keeps the colors bright and cheerful. Be sure your next shopping list includes Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
HOJO Radio, where the classics come alive.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber, McGee, and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber, McGee, and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Fibber and Molly dedicate this program to Billy Mills, who tonight opens his 10,000th broadcast with Let's Break the Ice. You know, it's a strange thing to me how long it has taken most of us to realize the beauty of a fine wood surface. It isn't very long ago since it was the style to have tablecloths or runners and doilies all over the dining room table and the buffet, pieces of brocade or needlepoint or old shawls over the desk and occasional tables and piano. I may have the names all wrong, but you know what I mean. The whole room seemed cluttered up, and beautiful wood surfaces hung their heads in shame. But how refreshing it is now to walk into a home where the tabletops are richly polished, with Johnson's Wax, of course, to make beautiful settings for old china, glass, candlesticks, and flowers. You women know that these accessories add just as much to the finish of your home as costume accessories to your own appearance. Look around your living room and dining room and see if you've made the most of your tabletops and other wood surfaces. The first thing to do is to protect and beautify them with paste or liquid Johnson's Wax. The same wax that has been protecting floors and making housework easier for over 50 years. Breathes there a man with soul so dead who never to himself hath said, "Gee, I'd like to ride on a roller coaster." But roller coasters aren't much fun unless you have a child along to knock you off your dignity. Which is why, halfway through a strenuous afternoon at the Wistful Vista Amusement Park, we meet the little girl from across the street with Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
Well, how we doing, sis? You having fun?
Sure I am, I betcha. Except I'm kind of hungry again.
Hungry? Okay, sis. It's my bankroll against your digestion, I guess. Here's a dime. Go buy some popcorn.
Gee, thanks, mister. Hey, Mr. Popcorn Man.
That kid is going to paper napkin herself into a stupor before the day's over, Molly.
Well, she needs a lot of fuel for all that energy. How many times did she make you ride on the roller coaster?
12. Personally, I was ready to quit after the 4th time around.
Well, why didn't you?
I couldn't stand up. If she hadn't wanted a hamburger, we'd have been on there yet. Oh, hi, sis. You get your popcorn?
Sure.
Okay, well, what do you want to do now?
Eat my popcorn.
Oh.
Well, what do you want to do when you finish that?
Have some root beer.
Hey, now, wait a minute, sis. Goodness knows I don't begrudge you a slug of ptomaine, but you're building this little outing into a colic frolic. Now, let the root beer go a little later.
All righty. Then let's have some ginger ale. Now.
Oh, sure. She's got an appetite like Aunt Sarah and a thirst like Uncle Dennis.
Oh, now, McGee, leave poor old Uncle Dennis alone. I'm only sorry he couldn't come with us today.
No, I asked him to, and he says he had to go down to the airplane factory.
The airplane factory?
Yeah, and he heard there was a bottleneck down there, and he wanted to look into it. Well, for the love of Mike, you finished that popcorn already, sis?
Sure I have, I betcha. But, gee, I wish I had something to wash it down with, though.
Oh, well, what would you suggest?
How about a banana?
No.
Say, let's have our pictures taken. Shall we?
Say, how about that, Molly? We need some pictures, remember?
Well, I don't think we want any out of a 10-cent automatic machine. The last ones I had taken in one of those, I looked like a Zulu princess trying to understand the Hutsut song.
No, that ain't so far-fetched. I think some Zulu wrote it. Well, come on, sis. Posterity might as well get something out of this.
See, you're a dandy to me, mister. You just do everything I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you remember that when the girl in the white cap bends over you with the castor oil, will you? Well, come on, Molly.
Can we all get into the booth at once?
Sure, we'll have a group picture taken. You can give one to your mother, sis, and show her what a good time you were having.
She'd think I was having a better time if I had a lollipop in my hand, I betcha.
You can get that later. Now, come on in. Pull the curtains, Molly.
All right.
There.
Now, you put a dime in that slot and turn the knob, dearie.
Okay, now all hunch up together first. You ready? Okay, here goes the deemer.
For a minute there, I thought you hit the jackpot. Well, what do we do now?
Just wait. The picture's being automatically developed. Wonderful machines, these.
My daddy's got a machine that you stand in front of, and it takes your picture free.
He has? Mm-hmm. What does he call it?
A camera.
Oh, cut it out, sis. You must think I'm done. Hey, what's the matter with this thing? Hey, where's our picture? Hey, there.
Oh, now, McGee.
Oh, let's get him out. Come on.
Oh, come on, dearie. It's worth a dime to me not to see it anyway.
No, sir. I ain't going to be swindled out of a dime by any tin horn, tin-type tin can like this. If I can't either get my dime or a picture out of here, I'm going to kick the negatives out of it. Come on. Now, open up there. Come on. Ooh.
Oh, gee, look, a man fell out of it.
Say, what's the idea of busting open this tin-type machine like that, Sonny? Don't you realize... Oh, hello, Johnny. Hello, daughter.
Hey, what is this anyway? What are you doing inside that machine, old-timer?
Got a right to be inside of it, Johnny. I own it.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be automatic.
Well, 'tis, daughter. But it went out of order this morning, and I've been in there ever since.
What?
I grab the dime, snap your picture with my little Kodak, develop them quick, and shove them out through the slot. And now you busted up the whole works. Ain't you ashamed, Johnny?
Yeah, I guess I am, in a way. But what took you so long to develop our pictures?
I couldn't help it, Johnny. I peeked through the little slot there to get a focus on you.
Yeah?
You look so silly and self-conscious. I got to laughing. I got to laughing so hard, I couldn't do a darn thing.
Come on, Molly. Come on, sis. Well, let's see. What do we do now? Ride on the merry-go-round, shoot darts at the balloons?
I beg your pardon, sir. May I have a word with you?
What you want, Bud? Make it snappy.
I have a proposition I'd like to make, sir. If I could have a quiet word with you, I think...
Anything you want to tell me, Bud, you can say in front of my wife.
Oh, of course. This will interest her, too. Suppose we all drop over to my hotel where we can discuss the matter in...
Oh, no, you don't. Don't listen to him, McGee. He's going to get you in a poker game or something.
Oh, madam, please. It's nothing of the sort. I merely want...
Skip it, Bud, skip it. I wouldn't be interested anyway. Now, don't bother me with any fake propositions. I'm out for some fun today, and I don't...
But if you'll just give me a minute...
I wouldn't split a second with you, sharpshooter. Now, go on, beat it before I call a cop.
Very well.
But you'll regret.
The nerve of some people.
What do you know? Well, what do we do now?
Well, how about taking one of those boats through the Tunnel of Love?
Through the Tunnel of Love? Oh, how about it, sis?
Tunnel of Love. Ish.
Oh, no. Don't sneer at love, sis.
No, sir, I should say not. You'll be falling in love yourself before many years, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I will not, I bet you. I'm going to marry Willie Toops, and then I can ride his tricycle whenever I want to.
Has it occurred to you, sis, that by the time you get married, you might not be interested in tricycles anymore?
Gee, mister, you worry too much. Hey, can I have some peanuts?
May I have some peanuts?
Sure, get 2 bags, one for you.
Oh, sure.
Cupid doll. You're a wonderful pistol shooter.
Oh, shucks, there was nothing any red-blooded American boy couldn't have done.
Yes,
Thanks anyway,
it didn't
sis.
cost you more than $4.80 to win a plaster doll worth at least 20 cents.
Well, shucks, the wind was against me.
McGee, there's Billy Mills. Hello, Billy.
Oh, hi, William. Hello, folks. Hello, Snooky.
Hi, Butch.
What's cooking?
I don't know, but as soon as it's done, I want some, I bet you.
She's a kind of a politician, Billy. Just appointed herself a hot dog catcher. Wow. Hey, what's this about your 10,000th broadcast, Billy? This is it, chum.
Really, Mr. Mills? 10,000 broadcasts. That's a mess of downbeats, isn't it?
You ain't faking, Mammy. Look, William Randolph, let's not kid the public, or ourselves either. To do 10,000 broadcasts, do you realize you'd have to broadcast once every day for 27 years?
Sure, and we've only had broadcasting for about, less than 20 years.
Yeah, so who's pulling whose leg? Look, little man. Who said anything about one broadcast a day? I've been a staff leader and musical director in my day.
Oh, you mean before you went slumming and came with us, huh?
Yeah, and that meant I did as many as 12 shows a day. Add that up and you get about 4,000 a year. You mean to stand there, William, with your head coming up through your hair? And tell us you've done 12 broadcasts a day? Junior? I've seen the time when 12 shows a day would have been considered a layoff. Now, excuse me, please. I'm celebrating.
Gee, let's all celebrate. Let's all have a hot dog. Shall we?
No, sis, no. We'll let the maestro celebrate in his own way.
Incidentally, how are you celebrating, Mr. Mills?
Well, after 16 years of this business and 3 years with Fibber McGee and Molly, where would I celebrate? On the merry-go-round. See you later. Your joke about those 10,000 broadcasts. Ah, there's a great guy, Billy. Well, now what, sis?
Well, you've been so good to me today, mister, buying me things and letting me ride on any of the rides I wanted to and all. And I appreciate it so much that if I had a box of Cracker Jack, I'd divide with you.
Now, just a minute, sis. I don't like to be an old sourpuss.
All right. Right this way, ladies and gentlemen, to see that ferocious foreigner, that terrific terror of the tropics, the wild man of Borneo. Only a dime, 10 cents, ladies and gentlemen, to see the man-mangling monster.
Oh, McGee, it's Mr. Wilcox.
When did he get a job as a barker?
Here's a what?
A barker.
I want a hot dog.
Be quiet, sis. Hey, Harlow!
Well, hello there, folks. Glad to see you. How about taking a gander at the wild man of Borneo? It's on the house.
Is he really wild, Mr. Wilcox?
Is he? Listen. Hey, Bonzo, we got company.
Why does he make that funny noise, Mr. Wilcox?
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Come on, let's go in and take a look. Take it easy.
Now, take it easy, folks. Don't get too close to the wild man. Get back, Bonzo. Get back.
What made him so wild, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, he was captured by a ship's captain who had old-fashioned ideas and positively refused to use Johnson's self-polishing glow coat on the linoleum. You see, the very mention of somebody who doesn't use Johnson's glow coat sends him into a frenzy. Take it easy, Bonzo. Take it easy. These people work for the makers of glow coat.
Harlow, I ain't one to spoil a good sales talk, but if this monkey was born in Borneo, how should he know about glow coat?
Why, what a question. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat is famous all over the world because it's the greatest beautifier and protector of linoleum and the best work saver and time saver that money can buy. Why, the Eskimos of Kamchatka whisper in their igloos about how easy it is to apply. And the Malays in Siberia brag about how it brings old linoleum back to life.
I'll bet you there aren't any Malays in Siberia, I bet you.
Ah, but they would go there, honey, for a can of Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. And that's what makes the wild man of Borneo wild, folks. He can't stand the thought of neglected linoleum. And that concludes the exhibit.
Just a minute, Harlow. There's one thing I think you ought to know.
What's that, Fibber?
If there's anything that makes me wild, it's to see a wild man of Borneo with a fur suit on with the zipper coming loose in the back.
Darn it, I keep telling him about that. Bonzo, you dope! Go fix your zipper!
Okay.
Well, come on, McGee. We still have a lot to do and see. Goodbye, Mr. Wilcox.
Hey, Mr. McGee, can I go on the roller coaster alone? Can I?
Can we let her go on the roller coaster alone, Molly?
Oh, I think so. They'll have an attendant ride on it with her.
Okay then, sis. Here's 4 bits. We'll meet you right here when you come back.
Gee, thanks, mister. I'm going on the roller coaster.
I beg your pardon, sir. I do hate to intrude on you again, but I feel that what I have to say is of so much importance.
Oh, it's you again, is it, Si?
He's been following us all around the park, McGee. I've been watching him.
But, madam, if you'll only permit me to explain, I'm sure that we can...
You only got one thing to explain, Bud, and that's why I don't pop you one right on your snozzola.
No. I'm sure there's no cause for all your antagonism.
What you mean, antagonism? I can see just as good as you can.
No. Hard feelings. Now, look, the reason I wish to speak to you is this.
Look, Bud, you better scram. I don't want any part of your racket. Is that plain?
But if you'll allow me,
You heard my husband. Now go away.
Very well, madam.
He's a persistent cuss, ain't he? Probably a con man. Probably wanted to sell me a half interest in Fort Knox.
You think he did, really? Let's call him back. Half interest in Fort Knox ought to be a very good investment.
Oh, now, Molly, I know. Oh.
What's the matter?
Look, there's Mrs. Uppington coming out of the tunnel of love. Alone.
Heavenly days. What on earth? Yoo-hoo, Abigail.
Oh, how do you do, Miss McGee and Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy. We saw you coming out of the tunnel of love.
That, yes. I frequently come over and take a ride through the tunnel of love. It brings back memories of an old flame of mine.
It's pretty damp surroundings for an old flame, Uppy.
Yes, I suppose I'm just being a silly girl, but Terence was the gentleman's name.
Okay.
Terence simply loved those dark winding passages, the murmur of the water, the unexpected turns and twists.
Was he a sailor, Uppy?
No, nothing like that. Terence, bless his heart, was a sewer contractor. Well, I think I shall take one more ride before I go home. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of his 10,000th broadcast, the King's Men will sing Billy Mills' new number, I'm in Love with the Sound Effects Man.
Oh, what would we do without the sound effects man, that radio racketeer? Tune your dial and listen a while. This is what you'll hear. There's a knock upon the door. That's the sound effects man. Here's a kiss and maybe more. That's the sound effects man. If you'd like a ring, he'll give you a ding, ding, ding. And even in the early morn, you'll hear him blowing his horn. Cowboys galloping fit to bust. That's the sound effects man. 3 more redskins bite the dust. That's the sound effects man. He has such an awful lot to do, and yet he very seldom ever misses a cue. He's a 3-alarm fire and the fire chief too. There goes the sound effects man when the wind is howling.
That's the sound effects man.
Thunder goes a-growling. That's the sound effects man. When the battle is raging, he's right in the middle of the fray. When he blows his whistle, crime doesn't pay. Then his old Maxwell chugging right along. That's the sound effects man. When Kate Kaiser gets the answer all wrong. Students! That's the sound effects man. Hear those footsteps making a lot of muddy tracks. Dirty boots will never hurt the kitchen floor if it's covered with Johnson's wax. Tailspin Tommy in his aeroplane. That's the sound effects man. When McGee breaks a window pane. That's the sound effects man. He has gadgets by the score, from a peanut whistle to a cannon's roar. When Fibber runs to open that closet door, look out!
Gotta straighten out that closet one of these days.
That's Virgil Reimer, the sound effects man.
But McGee, we simply got to find her. Did you ask the man in charge of the roller coaster?
4 times. She used up all her tickets and walked away. I've been all around the Dad Ratted Park looking for her.
Oh, maybe we better notify the police or the lost and found or
Gotta
something.
do something. Poor little tyke must be terrified, lost in all this big crowd.
Oh, dear. We should never have let her go out of our sight. I'm the one. I should have known.
Well. What's all the trouble, folks?
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
We lost a little girl, Gildy, the kid from across the street. She was riding on the roller coaster, and now we can't find her.
You let her ride on the roller coaster all alone?
Well, they have attendants to take care of the children.
Yeah, she was all right.
Is that so? All right, eh? She's missing, isn't she?
Well.
Why didn't you stay where you could keep an eye on her? You're a fine one to be trusted with a little child.
Now, you cut that out, Gildersleeve. I feel bad enough about this without having any nasty insinuations from you.
I should say so. Listen, I'll go back to the merry-go-round, McGee, and I'll take another look for her.
Okay, try all the hamburger stands, too. She may be mooching a handout.
I must say you take this pretty lightly, McGee. By George, if I were responsible for losing a little child...
Anybody that lost you when you were a little child should ought to get a Carnegie Medal. You big blowhard.
Oh! Now, look here, McGee. Just because you were written up in Look magazine this week, you can't take that tone with me. I'll have none of your impudence.
Go on, have some. I got plenty.
Why, you little bug brain, I've got a good notion to slap some of that freshness out of you.
Go ahead, try it. You'll find it ain't such a good notion after all. Because you know what I'd do, Gildersleeve?
No, what would you do?
Well, for one thing, I'd stand right here and give you a dirty look. If you didn't have one already. And then when I got...
I won't take that from you, McGee. I'm warning you.
Oh, so now he thinks he's one of the Warner brothers. You got delusions of grandeur, Gildersleeve.
That's enough. I'm going to split you wide open, McGee. You're so full of cracks now, you won't mind another one anyway.
Yeah, you move an inch my way, Gildersleeve.
Boy,
Slug him, Mr. McGee. Slug him.
You bet I'll slug him. Hey, who said that?
I did, I bet you.
Oh, my goodness. There she is now, little chum.
Hey, where you been, sis? You had us all worried.
See, you had me worried too, mister. I thought Mr. Gildersleeve was going to hit you before you hit him.
That's an excellent idea. Now, don't you worry your pretty little head about us, my dear.
No, we were just kind of upset about you, sis.
Why, certainly. Well, glad you got her back all right, little chum. I'll see you later.
Okay, Gildy. So long, pal. Hey, Molly, here she is.
Oh, thank goodness. Say, where did you go to, little girl?
Where have you been?
Well, you gave me 50 cents for the roller coaster, so I took 4 rides, and then I went and got another hot dog.
Another hot dog? Hey, now, wait a minute, sis. If you don't quit eating all that junk,
I beg your pardon, sir.
Oh, dear, it's you again. Call a cop, dearie.
Look, Bud, I've told you twice that I don't want any of whatever you're selling. All we want from you is a large slice of your absence. Now, beat it before I...
I regret very much having made a nuisance of myself, sir, but I've been watching you two. I've seen you having fun on the roller coaster. I've seen you exasperated in the photograph booth, worried and frantic when the child was lost, angry when you were arguing with that portly man. In short, sir, I've seen you under all sorts of emotional conditions.
Well, that's very interesting, but
we
now...
have been searching all over the country for a couple whom we could present in pictures as Mr. and Mrs. America.
Yeah, well, that's all... Huh? You mean... Who's been searching? Who are you?
I represent RKO Radio Picture, sir, and we would like to sign you to a contract to make a motion picture with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy called Look Who's Laughing.
Well, heavenly days.
Oh, boy.
Imagine.
Oh, can you imagine that, Molly? Why, we'll be in the movies.
Sure.
Think of us out there in Hollywood, Molly.
Oh, my.
Mixing with Irene Dunn, Cary Grant, Lucille Ball, and all the stars playing them big roles.
Those big what, mister?
Big roles.
I'm hungry.
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment. You know, I hear a good many women say that during the summer they don't like to spend any more time than necessary in the kitchen. In spite of the fact that I really enjoy my meals, I can subscribe to that idea. In fact, I don't think a woman should ever spend more time than necessary working in the kitchen. For example, she ought to avail herself of all the shortcuts possible, not go on doing things the hard way when an easy way is available. Yes, I'm getting around to floors and to Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. The no-rubbing, no-buffing polish that makes it so easy to have beautiful, sparkling floors with practically no work. You simply apply Glow Coat and let it dry. It polishes itself. And not only saves you work, but saves your linoleum, too. Protects it against scratches and wear. Makes it last much longer. You can use Johnson's Glow Coat on all your floors, painted and varnished wood, rubber, and asphalt tile. Be sure to add Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat to your next shopping list.
Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to Billy Mills and his orchestra, the musical portion of our program also boasts of the King's Men. We think they're just about the finest singing aggregation on the air. They are John Dodson, Bud Lynn, Rad Robinson, and Ken Darby.
Yes, and Ken also makes the arrangements and plays the accompaniment.
The King's Men, ladies and gentlemen. The part of Harlow Wilcox on this show is played by a young man who really makes his commercial announcements a pleasure to listen to. He's been with us for 7 years, and his real name is Harlow Wilcox. Harlow? Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and for industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Before you start off on another weekend trip in your car, let me make a suggestion. You and your family and friends will enjoy the trip more if your car is beautifully wax polished, and the car will be easier to keep clean and shining, too. So buy yourself a can of Johnson's Car New, the sensational, easy-to-use auto polish that both cleans and wax polishes your car in one application. 2 jobs in one in less than half the time they used to take. Car New is saving hours of work for car owners everywhere. It's easy now to have a beautiful wax-polished car. Remember the name, Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Our next broadcast is the brainchild of American comedy duo George Burns and real-life wife and partner Gracie Allen. In September of 1934, their 30-minute program premiered as The Adventures of Gracie. The title changed in 36, and from 36 till 50, the series switched back and forth between NBC and CBS until it was canceled. They re-emerged on television with a successful situation comedy which lasted from 1950 to 1958. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present Burns and Allen on HOJO Radio.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got
This is Bill Goodwin speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again, time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen, Jimmy Cash, and Paul Whiteman and his music. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, this is the Burns' first morning back home after a brief visit to the East. And George is still sound asleep upstairs, peacefully unaware that at this moment a meeting is going on in his living room. Yes, you guessed it. It's that splendid organization whose very name is enough to give George the horrors, the Beverly Hills Uplift Society.
Oh, order, girls. Come to order, please. It's time for the meeting.
Oh, but Gracie, we want to hear some more about New York.
Yes, it must be such a fascinating place.
Oh, well, New York is just a city, girls, exactly like Los Angeles. Only New York grew up and Los Angeles grew sideways, that's all.
Gracie, maybe you better open up the meeting. It's getting late.
Oh, yeah, of course, Tootsie. All right. Ladies of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society, you may now consider yourselves opened up. Girls, while I was away, Vicki Gruskin took the minutes of the last meeting, and I think we all owe her a round of applause for her splendid work. Girls, a big hand for Vicki Gruskin. All right, that's enough, Vicki. I'll proceed with the minutes. The last meeting of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society was to have been held at the home of Mrs. Millie Taylor. But when her husband heard the news, he raised several objections and a floor lamp. However, the incident ended harmlessly when Mrs. Taylor grabbed it out of his hand and knocked out 3 of his front teeth with it.
My husband has a perfectly vicious temper. He certainly has.
Yes, Millie. I'm afraid that someday he'll get really mad at you and you'll kill him.
Gracie, go ahead with the minutes.
Oh, yes. We then decided to hold the meeting at the home of Mrs. George Burns, who was away in the East. So we entered through a second-story window.
It was such fun, Gracie. I hadn't shinnied up a drain pipe since I was a little girl.
Really, Blanche?
Yes, and that was easily 10 years ago.
Oh, easily. Well, to continue, the meeting was declared open by Mrs. Bagley, who wore the same old Kelly green dress and a fascinator that obviously wasn't working. Oh, really, Vicki? You shouldn't let personalities creep into the minutes.
Well, I'm sorry, Gracie.
Well, you ought to be. There's no need to say things like that about our members. They know how badly they dress.
Well, I didn't mean anything.
Oh, my, there's the door. Excuse me, girls.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, hello, Mr. Postman.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. Gosh, it's wonderful to see you again.
Oh, did you really miss me?
I should say I did. I missed your sparkling wit and your madcap gaiety, which is so similar to my own.
Oh, you're sweet.
Honestly, I haven't had a good laugh since you left. May I have one now?
Well,
go right ahead.
Now I feel better.
Oh. Well, did you ever make a trip to New York, Mr. Postman?
No, but I do correspond with a man who lives there, a Mr. Charles Atlas. He gives a course in bodybuilding.
Oh. And, you take it?
Oh, no, I just write in and give him helpful hints. My body doesn't need improvement. It would be gilding the lily.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just forgot how strong you are.
No offense, Mrs. Burns. This uniform hides my physique. But in the gymnasium, all my friends say that I'm built like a brick chimney.
Well, Mr. Postman, I'm just sure you are.
Well, here's your mail, Mrs. Burns. A little package from New York.
Oh, a package. Oh, good. I'm so glad it came in time for the meeting. Goodbye, Mr. Postman.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. And remember, keep smiling.
Come back to order, girls. Come back to order. Now, in a little while, I'll have a surprise for you. But first, we'd better get on with the meeting. Is there any old business?
Yes, Gracie. We still haven't decided on the official club flower for us girls to wear.
And we haven't decided on our official club greeting either. Well, girls, I had a marvelous idea about that. We can combine both of them. Really, Gracie? How? Well, now, for the club flower, we can wear goldenrod. And for the club greeting, we can sneeze at each other.
Oh, I think that's splendid, don't you, girls?
Hello, Gracie.
Oh, hello, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I was interrupting a meeting.
Oh, it's all right, Bill. Girls, you all remember Bill Goodwin?
Gracie, look. Don't ever have Charles Boyer over here. You know, if they do that for me, for him, they'd blow the walls down. Well, I really came over to see George. Where is he, Gracie?
Oh, he's still in bed, Bill. You see, he couldn't get any sleep on the train last night. He just laughed all night long.
He laughed?
Yes, he shared his berth with my darling little duck. And you know how ticklish George is.
Yes, Grace. Well, I'll go wake him up.
Oh, now that you're here, Mr. Goodwin, we simply must take advantage of this opportunity.
Must we?
Yes. We know that you and Tootsie were in New York together, and we're dying to know whether you two lovebirds became more intimate.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Tootsie. I hardly saw you in New York, except when I happened to pass in front of the YMCA.
But you gave me a cake for my birthday, Bill.
Well, Tootsie, I give all my friends a cake for their birthday. Gee, it's a wonderful soap, isn't it? Yes, sir, there's nothing like a cake of Swan, the new white floating soap. It's purer than finest Castiles and a regular Suds and Whiz.
Bill, I've got a new use for Swan soap.
You have, Tootsie?
Uh-huh. I put it under my pillow so I'll dream of you.
Oh. Well, gee, thanks, Tootsie. You know, I dreamed about you last night.
Really?
Oh, yes, I dreamed that you were Mrs. Goodwin.
Oh, how wonderful. Bill, what were we doing?
Washing the dishes with Swan.
But I was Mrs. Goodwin, huh?
Oh, yes, Tootsie, you were Mrs. Goodwin. You were washing the dishes, and I put my arms around you, and I said, "Let me help you, Mother."
Mother?
Well, sure, and you said, "No, son, with Swan in the dishpan, I don't need any help. Tests show that Swan suds faster than other white floating soaps, and it's so mild. And just look how it helps keep my hands soft and lovely." And I said, "That's right, Mom. Use Swan for every soap and water job around the house."
Bill, how could you dream that I was your mother?
Well, I'll tell you, you remind me of her a lot, Tootsie. The way your eyes light up when you break a bar of Swan in two. The way you walk as you put half of it in the kitchen for dishes and cleaning and the other half in the bathroom for your hands and face, tub or shower. Well, goodbye, girls.
Oh, wait, Bill. You said I remind you of your mother. Well, don't you always kiss your mother goodbye?
Oh, sure I do.
Well,
Tootsie, see me Mother's Day. So long, girls.
Goodbye, Bill.
George. Hey, George.
Oh, hello, Bill. I was just coming down. Gee, what a great sleep I had. Home sweet home. Yeah. Gracie probably has a wonderful breakfast all fixed. Come on, have a cup of coffee with us, Bill.
George, I wouldn't go in there. Let's have a cup of coffee at the drugstore.
Oh,
huh?
not me, Bill. It's too noisy and crowded down there. I like peace and quiet.
George, don't go in there.
Why not? It's my own little home. My own little love nest. Come on, Bill. Oh, no.
This is Paul Whiteman. Here's a song you've heard before and you'll hear again. So the right title for it is, I've Heard That Song Before.
Well, Gracie, this is fine. After all I've said, our very first day home, you invite those idiotic women here again.
George, I've asked you 1,000 times not to call them idiots.
And I've asked you 1,000 times not to invite them here.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's compromise. You let me invite them here, and I'll let you call them idiots.
Well, I'm at the end of my rope. I've tried arguing with you, threatening with you, pleading with you, even bribing you. I don't know what else to do.
Well, let me see now. Oh, it is difficult to think of anything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you tried beating me?
No.
Oh, you see? You're always ready to give up.
Yeah, but beating you is one thing I can't do.
How do you know? I'm not as strong as I look.
Okay, I know when I'm licked. I'm done, finished, through.
Aha, that's the old spirit. Now you're talking, attaboy.
Gracie, won't you please give up that club?
Oh, if you only knew the girls better, you wouldn't ask me to do that, dear. Why, do you know that they're waiting for me to come back right now so they can give me a medal?
They're going to give you a medal?
Mm-hmm. To commemorate my concert in Carnegie Hall last week.
Who thought that up?
One of the very women you were just saying all those nasty things about.
Who?
Me.
Well, that's very sweet of you giving yourself a medal.
I know, but I deserve it.
Oh, sure.
I made musical history when I played the piano in Carnegie Hall. Why, one critic said I was as good as Post.
As good as who?
Post. He said I played with all the depth and feeling of a Post.
Oh, yeah, great musician, that Post.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, skinny fella.
Well, I don't know him.
Know him
I
well.
wish you'd come in with me and watch the ceremony, George. The postman just brought the medal, and it's simply beautiful. It's got a picture of me on one side and a picture of a fish on the other.
A fish?
Yes. Well, you see, I figured out that I played the scale 196 times in Carnegie Hall last week. And, well, if you count the scales on the fish...
I get it. You don't have to finish it. I see the whole thing.
Well, will you come in with me and listen to the presentation speech, dear?
Well, why not? I might as well be good and miserable.
Girls, I took the liberty of bringing my husband back into the meeting with me. All those in favor of making him our guest of honor will please say aye. All those in favor of just making him a guest, please say aye. All those in favor of not throwing him out, please say aye. Aye. Sit down, dear.
Thanks.
And now, girls, it's time for my surprise. The presentation of the Gracie Allen Memorial Achievement Award. Well, it's a medal which will be given each year to the member who has done most to make our club famous. Now, I'm the first winner because I not only made a recent contribution to musical history, but I also bought a medal.
I bet that's only fair.
But who knows what the future may hold. Next year, Frances Fowler might win it with those new false eyelashes she invented.
Oh, they're really nothing, Gracie.
Why, I think they're clever. You should see them, George. They have 48 hairs, and when you go to the market, you pull one hair out for every ration point. Then, when your eyelashes are all gone,
You stop buying. I thought that's a very clever idea.
Yes. Well, now, who'd like to make the presentation speech? How about you, Clara?
Oh, Gracie, I simply couldn't. I've never made a speech.
Well, it won't be hard. All you have to do is read what I wrote.
You wrote the speech yourself,
Every word of it. Here you are, Clara. Go ahead.
Ladies of the Beverly Hills Uplift Society, it is my privilege to pay a greatly deserved honor to our most talented and illustrious member.
Oh, please.
Oh, no.
No artist of our time has done more to further the cause of music than this charming and lovely young woman.
Oh, my goodness, you're making me blush.
Her accomplishments have thrilled the nation, yet through it all, she has remained modest and, what's this word, Gracie?
Oh, let's see. Oh, unassuming.
Oh, thanks. She has remained modest and unassuming.
Oh, and don't think it's been easy.
Oh, no.
So I take pleasure in presenting the Gracie Allen Memorial Achievement Award to Gracie Allen.
Well, girls, I just don't know what to say. Your wonderful tribute has caught me completely unprepared.
Well, I've had all I can stand. I'm getting out of here.
Congratulations.
Well, so help me if something isn't done to get those buzzards out of my hair.
Well, brother, they've really got you talking to yourself.
They certainly have, Bill. I'm going nuts. That club is making an old man out of me before my time.
Oh, now, George, why get so excited about a few months?
Well, no fooling, Bill. If Gracie doesn't get rid of that club, it's going to ruin my health.
Say, wait a minute. George, if you pretend you're ill, maybe she'll throw him out.
Oh, she'd know it was a phony.
Well, she wouldn't if her own doctor told her you were sick.
You mean that Dr. Lewis, that absent-minded crackpot?
Well, now, wait. Gracie thinks he's a great doctor, even though in his case the MD does stand for mentally deficient. Now, you get him to tell her the club is ruining your health, and that's the end of it.
Bill, you're wonderful. I love you. I could kiss you for this.
Oh, George, please remember you're a married man.
Oh, how could I forget it?
Jimmy Cash has got the right thought about any loose talk you might hear around these days. I don't believe in rumors. It's okay, Jimmy. We'll go right ahead.
It's a dangerous thing to repeat what you hear when you don't even know what they're saying is so. Somebody else told somebody else and that somebody said we were through. But I don't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you. Wherever I walk, the people all talk, and they're saying it's time that I knew. But I don't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you. For everyone knows how a rumor grows when the gossips are doing their worst. But somehow I feel if the stories were real, you would have come to me first. Whatever they say, and say what they may, still it isn't a thing you would do. So I won't believe in rumors, darling. I want it straight from you.
What's keeping that screwball Dr. Lewis? I phoned him an hour ago.
Now stop worrying. He'll get here, and when he does, you'll be a free man.
Bill, if this idea works, I'll owe you a big favor. Just name the thing you want most, and I'll get it for you.
Oh, you couldn't do that, George. You don't know Paulette Goddard that well.
Oh, well, in that case, Bill, well, here's Dr. Lewis. Hope he isn't as absent-minded as he used to be. Come in.
How do you do? Is this the residence of Dr. Lewis?
Well, here we go again. Look, you're Dr. Lewis, and I asked you to come here.
Oh, to be sure, to be sure.
Yes.
Well, I can see that an examination won't be necessary. You were mistaken, that's all, mistaken.
Look, Doc, all I want you to do
I'm
is...
sorry, but you're definitely not going to become a mother. Better luck next time.
Hey, Doctor,
Good day.
wait a minute, Doc.
No, I can't wait. I have an appointment with a man named Burns. He phoned and said that his wife's health was bad since he hit her with a club.
Dr. Lewis, you're just a little mixed up. This is Mr. Burns, and his health is bad because his wife's club holds its meetings here.
Ah, I understand. My wife belongs to a club, too, and I often say to her, Catherine, no, that's not her name. Isabel? No. Nancy? No.
How about Mrs. Lewis?
I'd love to meet her. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine.
Doctor, look, all you have to do is tell my friend's wife that he's sick.
Ah, but is he? I have to be sure. A man in my profession can't afford to go off half baked, shot, cracked.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
Oh, you're a very nervous man, Mr. Sake. May I call you Pete?
Look, Doctor, I'm George Burns. Go right in there and tell my wife that those club meetings are ruining my health. Got it?
Oh, sure. I never forget a face.
Right this way, Doc. Oh, Gracie, a friend of yours would like to speak to you.
Oh, hello, Dr. Lewis. I'm awfully glad to see you.
I'm delighted to see you, too. Who are you?
Well, I'm Mrs. Burns, don't you remember? I introduced you to my girlfriend, Tootsie Sagwell, and you took her out.
I did?
Well, you didn't exactly take all of her out, just her tonsils.
Doc, will you please tell her about Mr. Burns' health?
Oh, to be sure. Mr. Health is proud of his Burns, and he should be. First degree, you know.
Goodbye, Dr. Lewis. Out, beat it. Scram.
Well, I'd like to, but I haven't time. I've got to go.
Now, wait a minute, girls. What Dr. Lewis was trying to tell you is this. These club meetings of yours are ruining George's health.
Oh, no.
Well, it's true. Why, when I walked in here this morning, he was as sick as he could be. He looked up at me with that pitiful little face of his, and he said, "Water, water, bring me water." So I gave him water in a bar of Swan, the new white floating soap. That's purer than finest Castiles. I knew he'd want that. George knows that money can't buy a purer soap.
Bill, are you serious? Is George really sick?
Gracie, I don't want to frighten you, but poor old George is as weak as a little baby. Thank goodness you've got Swan, because Swan is great for babies. It's so pure, it's mild, too, kind even to a little baby's tender skin. So you know it must be wonderful for anybody's hands and face, tub or shower. You just bathe him with Swan, he'll pull through.
Oh, isn't this awful, girls?
Well, don't worry about it.
Really, I never dreamed our club meetings were making George ill.
Yes, Gracie. And it's high time you women considered George. Just as you've long considered Castile soaps the standard of purity. Of course, you know that Swan is even purer than finest Castiles.
Oh, all right, Bill. You don't have to say any more.
Then you'll help him, Gracie?
Well, of course I will. After all, I married George for better or for worse. It would be awful if he got any worse.
Well, that's fine, Gracie. I'll go in and tell him he's as good as cured. George.
Yeah?
It's all set. Come on, upstairs.
You mean it worked?
Yeah, hurry. All you have to do is get into bed and act sick and no more club.
Oh, great.
Here, give me your robe.
Okay. I'll get into bed. Oh, come on. Get out of my bed, you silly-looking duck. Out. Oh, shut up.
Now, remember, George, get a sad look on your face. We've got to make this good if we're going to fool Gracie into thinking you're sick.
Now, wait a minute, Herman. Now, look, kid, it's sort of a game, that's all, a game. Quiet. For goodness sake, Herman, take it easy. Look, if you keep your big fat bill shut about this, I'll give you a nice sardine. What do you say? 2 sardines? Oh, holding out, huh? Well, 2 sardines is as far as I'll go. Okay, quiet. I'll give you the whole can. Now, go on. Beat it, you little blackmailer. Know what I'd like to do? I'd like to take that little duck. Hey, do I hear Gracie coming up the stairs?
Yeah, I think so. Hurry, get sick. Groan.
Oh,
put something into it. You're supposed to be sick. Groan.
oh.
George, is that the best you can do? Think of your income tax.
Oh.
That's it. Now keep going.
Oh.
George, darling, I heard you were terribly sick, dying maybe, so I rushed right up here the minute we finished discussing Mrs. Palmtag's new hairdo.
Oh, well, thanks, dear. Oh,
what's the matter, dear? Where have you got a pain?
all over.
Oh, dear, you couldn't have it in a worse place.
Oh.
Stick out your tongue, George. Oh, my goodness, no wonder you're sick with a thing like that in your mouth.
Oh.
Gracie, come on. You're holding up the meat here.
Yes, Gracie, now, girls, please. My husband is desperately ill. How dare you think that I'd leave his side to go downstairs and attend a silly meeting?
Oh.
I love my husband, and I'm going to stay with him. Why, if anything happened to George and I wasn't here, I'd never forgive myself.
Thank you, darling.
So we'll hold our meeting right in this room.
Oh,
No.
come on. Now,
No, you're not going to hold it. Those women will have to leave this house.
Well, friends, George and Gracie will be back in a moment. So for just a few seconds, consider your two hands. Yes, I mean it. Your two hands, ladies, are two of the best possible reasons for using Swan soap in the dishpan and for any soap and water job. Swan is purer than finest Castiles. Swan is so mild it actually helps protect your hands, helps keep them soft and lovely. Swan doesn't skimp you on suds either. Tests show it gives twice as many suds in a minute as other white floating soaps. So why use strong soaps? Why spend money on easy-to-waste packaged soaps or costly toilet soaps? No need to when you can get Swan, the soap that's purer than finest Castiles. And now here they are again, George and Gracie.
George, you shouldn't say mean things about our club. The girls are very patriotic.
They are, huh?
Well, yes. Today at the meeting, I was supposed to serve them pancakes and butter. But they were so patriotic, they refused to touch a single pancake. All they ate was our butter.
Our butter? Gracie, haven't you been reading the paper? You can't get that anymore.
Oh, was it butter? We thought it was batter.
Oh.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your CBS station again next week, same time. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And don't forget to listen to Swan's other show, Tommy Riggs and Betty Lou, next Friday night over another network. And now, till next week at the same time, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I swan, how about you? Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
KNX, Columbia Square, Los Angeles.
Keep it tuned right here to HOJO Radio for more classic old-time radio.
Well, hello. Come right in. Oh, George, we've got
This is Bill Goodwin speaking for Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. Well, it's Tuesday night again. Time for another pleasant visit with George Burns and Gracie Allen, Jimmy Cash, and Paul Whiteman and his music. And now meet the people who live in the Burns house, George and Gracie. Well, now it's just after breakfast at the Burns house, and we find George and Gracie still in the dining room. George reading his morning paper, and Gracie deeply engrossed in a fascinating new book.
Let me see. The blue ones are for canned goods, and the red ones are for meat, butter, fat, cheeses.
Gracie, what are you mumbling about?
Nothing, dear. I'm just looking at my ration book. Say, 2 pounds of short ribs equal 1 pound of butter, unless they have the bone taken out. Of course, in which case they equal 3 cans of tuna fish. Now,
Are you
1 pound
sure
of bacon...
you understand how this thing works?
Oh, George, it's the simplest thing in the world. Of course I understand it. Why, it's who does?
Look, it's very simple. The blue stamps are for canned goods, and the red stamps are for meat.
I wish there were more red stamps. I love meat. Say, I wonder how much the cleaner would charge to dye the blue stamps red. Forget it, huh?
I would, yes. All you have to remember is not to spend more than your quota of points. When those red and blue coupons are gone, you're sunk.
Well, I'd still have the white coupons left in the other book.
No, but all you can get with those is coffee, sugar, and shoes. And you wouldn't like that.
No. I like coffee, sugar, and cream.
Yeah. That's because shoes are harder to paw. Yeah.
Excuse me, George. There's someone at the door.
Good morning, Mrs. Burns. And top of the morning to you.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Postman, and the rest of it to you. How are you feeling today?
Glorious, Mrs. Burns. Simply glorious. This spring air is such a tonic. Every time I take a deep breath, I just want to cry out with ecstasy.
Well, don't hold yourself back. Go ahead.
Thanks. Oh, now I feel better.
Well, I must try that sometime. Any mail for us this morning, Mr. Postman?
Yes, indeed. A whole raft of seeds and gardening magazines.
Oh, yes, I sent away for those. I'm going to surprise George. We're going to have a victory garden in the backyard.
Oh, your husband will love working in the garden. That's what keeps me the muscular, clear-eyed specimen of rugged manhood I am.
Well, of course, our victory garden will just be on a small scale. A few radishes, onions, tomatoes, corn, wheat, barley, rye, oats, alfalfa, hay.
All that?
Well, the cow will have to have something to eat.
Are you going to keep a cow in the backyard?
Oh, well, I can't keep her in the house. You should have heard the fuss George raised when my mother stayed with us.
Oh, goodness. You're going to have a regular farm.
Yes, we're even going to raise chickens. In fact, George is inside sitting on the eggs right now.
Your husband is going to hatch the chickens?
Yeah, but he doesn't know it. You see, I hid the eggs under the cushion of his easy chair.
You're a character, Mrs. Burns. Well, lots of luck with your farm.
Oh, well, thank you, and goodbye, Mr. Postman.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns. Remember, keep smiling.
I wonder if it'll be hard for me to change from Gracie Allen, the beautiful, sophisticated city girl, into Gracie Allen, the farmer. Let's see now. Morning, Mrs. Higgins. Can I help you churn the margarine? Why, it's easy.
Who was that, Gracie? The postman?
Yep, sure was, by cracky.
By Cracky?
Yeah, that's farmer talk by heck.
Gracie, do you feel all right?
Tolerable, Hiram, tolerable.
Hiram? Tolerable? What is all this?
Well, George, we're through with the hollow sham of city life. We're going back to the soil. I've decided to plant a victory garden.
Well, that's fine. A victory garden is a swell idea. But we don't have to make ourselves for Lum and Abner.
Oh, well, you love being a farmer, George. It's so helpful, breathing in that fresh, clean, sweet morning air as you feed the pigs.
Oh, stop.
I know a lovely poem about country life. Would you like me to recite it for you?
Well...
Of course you would. The curfew parts the toll of homeward day. The weary cows wind slowly up a tree. The world plods o'er the lea when Nell's away and leaves the plowman in the dark with me. Beautiful, huh?
Yeah, the greatest thing of its kind. Look, we're not going to have a farm. All we're going to have is a victory garden.
Yeah, just a sweet little victory garden. And I'll be at your side singing an old country song to cheer you on. We'll work together with a yo-ho-ho. You'll ho and I'll ho.
We'll both ho? I thought maybe you'd like to yo and I'll ho.
Won't you love getting up at 4 o'clock every morning to milk the cow?
Yes, I'll yo and you'll yo, yeah. Look, if I had a cow, I couldn't milk it.
Oh, you could, too. You squeeze oranges beautifully, and they don't even have a gadget on them.
Gracie, if you don't mind, I'll stick to oranges. I have yet to have an orange kick me.
Hiya, people. What's new?
Oh, hello, Bill. I'm so glad you came. Now you can take our order.
Order?
Yes, you know, we farmers don't get to see you traveling salesmen very often.
I'm a traveling salesman?
Yep, Bill. That's what you are. And Gracie wants me to be a farmer. Isn't that silly? What do I know about vegetables?
Are you kidding? I remember your vaudeville act.
I don't see anything funny.
Gee, Gracie, I wish I were a traveling salesman because I'd like to travel from one end of this country to the other and tell everybody about the wonderful offer the Swan people are making. Now, they'll send you a rainbow assortment of 8 gladiolus bulbs, including a special feature bulb called the Swan White for only 10 cents and the wrapper from any size cake of Swan soap.
Really, Bill?
Oh, yes. And these gladiolus bulbs are the kind florists use for their choicest cut flowers. And they'll grow in a few weeks into big, satiny blooms of all colors, with as many as 16 flowers to each stem, some of them as large as 4 inches across.
Oh, Bill, can I get some to beautify our farm? How do you get them?
Well, Gracie, we'd like to have the people write into you for the gladiolus bulbs. They just send a dime and 1 swan wrapper to Gracie Allen, Box 7, New York City.
Gracie Allen, Box 7, New York City. Well, I'll have to sit right down and write myself a letter.
Swell, Gracie. Well, I'll be running along now.
Well, come back later, Bill. We may have a quilting party or something.
A quilting party?
Yeah, now that we're farmers, we'll have quilting parties, husking bees, square dances.
Square dances?
Uh-huh.
Well, Gracie, that's my meat. You know, I love to call a good square dance. Oh, swing your partner, a do-si-do, a promenade left,
Bill.
all in a row.
Bill.
To get gladiolus bulbs 8 at a time,
Bill.
send a swan wrapper and a dime.
Bill.
To Miss Gracie Allen, so sweet and pretty,
Look.
care of Box 7, New York City. Now all join hands for the grand promenade.
Yeah.
Best darn offer ever was made.
Oh.
So get those bulbs,
Bill.
a do-si-do.
Bill, go.
Isn't he cute, George?
Yes, he's a regular suds and whiz.
Oh, I have a wonderful idea. Let's adopt Tootsie Sagwell.
Adopt Tootsie Sagwell?
Well, certainly. We're farmers, and if we adopt her, she'll be a farmer's daughter, and if Bill is a traveling salesman...
Never mind.
This is Paul Whiteman. Here's a tune that haunts you. A tune that really gets under your skin. Yes, sir, it's that old black magic.
Gracie, just look at this backyard of ours. It's so small. By the time we put a victory garden in here, we just won't have room for one of those.
George, we've got to have one. My grandfather's farm had one.
But we don't need one, sweetheart. Besides, they don't build them anymore.
Oh, sure they do. Whenever you drive through the country, you see one in the back of every farmhouse.
We have no use for one, sweetheart. Our house is modern.
Oh, all right. But I still say a farm isn't a farm without a well.
Well, we'll just have to get along without one.
Yes, dear. Now listen to the way I've got everything arranged. Right over there, we'll plant one radish vine or bush or whatever it is. That'll give us enough radishes for years and years.
From one plant?
Oh, George, you don't know anything about farming. Haven't you ever heard that radishes repeat?
Oh, yes. I remember hearing that.
And now right over here next to my swan gladiolus bulbs, I'll plant a few acres of potatoes.
Few acres?
Yes. And
Gracie, do you know how big an acre is?
Well, I suppose it depends on the size of the acre.
Yes, there are big acres and little ones.
Yeah. Well, we've just got
Buy them in a paper bag.
Yeah, oh, do you? Well, we've just got to raise potatoes, George. Remember that every potato that we grow will release a potato for some soldier to peel.
Yes, we must take care of the boys on KP.
Yes. Of course, we've got to help all these things grow ourselves, dear. I read somewhere that plants need vitamins, so I'll take those super pep pills out of your medicine cabinet and put a pill in with each tomato plant.
What? Those expensive pills of mine?
But, darling, you never take them yourself.
Of course I take them. I take one of those super pep pills every morning.
Really?
Certainly.
Oh, dear. Then I guess they wouldn't do the tomatoes much good either.
No, they'll come up pretty, but weak.
Oh, there's the man I've been expecting. You stay here and water the chores.
What man?
Now, I'll be right back. Hello.
Howdy.
I suppose you're the man from the employment agency?
Yes, and they said you wanted somebody to do the heavy work on the farm.
That's correct. I need a hired man. What's your name?
William Wright, ma'am.
Have you a middle name?
Horace, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. William Horace Wright.
Yes.
I'll call you Zeke.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any experience on a farm, Zeke?
Oh, yes. I've spent most of my life on one, never done much else.
Well, of course, that may be true, but before I hire you, I ought to make sure that you're really an expert.
Yes.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions about farming?
No, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Oh. How many legs has a sheep?
4.
Good, you're hired.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks. But where is this farm?
Right out there, see?
Where?
There. The east pasture is in front of the barbecue pit. And you'll be able to see the west pasture after we move the garbage pail.
Lady, maybe this ain't the job for me after all.
Oh, you mustn't feel that way, Zeke. I always say, oh, wait, I've got an idea. Why don't we let my husband be the hired man so he can have muscles like yours and let you do his work?
Well, that all depends, ma'am. What does your husband do? I said, what does your husband do?
Just a minute, I'm trying to think.
Oh.
You have breakfast about 11, then read the morning paper until you've won the war, then you go into the den to work.
What kind of work?
Well, I'm not sure, but after a few hours, you come out and see if I bought another new hat. And I seldom disappoint you.
Is that all I do?
Oh, no. You've got to hate my mother, too.
What?
Oh, and I almost forgot. 2 nights a week, you fool me completely.
How?
Well, on Tuesday nights, you tell me you're going to a conference. That's a poker game.
Yeah.
And on Saturday nights, you tell me you're going to a lecture. That's a burlesque show.
Well, lady, I'm just a farmhand.
Oh, you might as well start to work right away. Just put your feet on the table, and I'll bring you some cigars.
Oh, it ain't real. Stuff just like this just don't happen.
Gracie, I finished the, Hey, who are you?
I ain't sure, but I think I'm the hired man.
Hired man? Hired to do what?
Smoke cigars and go to burlesque shows?
Are you a little bit nuts?
No. No, but the lady who hired me might be. She wants her husband to do the farm work so he'll get to look like me.
Well, I happen to be her husband.
Oh, gosh, if I do your work, I might get to look like you. Goodbye.
Well, of all the... Gracie. Oh, Gracie.
Yes, dear. Where's Zeke?
I got rid of him. We don't need a hired man for a little victory garden.
Oh, all right. But now you have to do your work and his, too. You'll have to go to the burlesque show and take care of the cow.
Look, we're not going to have a cow. I told you I don't even know how to milk one.
I know. That's why I ordered an electric milker.
An electric milker?
Sure, it's a real convenience. If we want a glass of milk, all we have to do is plug in the cow.
Well, I get it.
Jimmy Cash has a favorite tune, and maybe it's a favorite of yours, too. Can't you hear me calling Caroline? All right, Jimmy.
I miss you in the morning when old Bob White gives his call. Caroline, Caroline. I miss you at the sunset when the evening shadows fall. Caroline, Caroline. I miss you when the moonbeams out on the river shine. Oh, can't you hear me calling for you, Caroline? Can't you hear me calling, Caroline? It's my heart a-calling time. Lordy, how I miss you, gal of mine. Wish that I could kiss you, Caroline. Ain't no use now for the sun to shine, Caroline, Caroline. Can't you hear my lips a-saying? Can't you hear my soul praying? Can't you hear me calling,
Gracie, let's just settle for a little victory garden. We don't know anything about farming.
Well, I do. My grandmother and grandfather had a farm, and when I was 6 years old, I spent 2 whole days on it. So naturally, I know all about farming.
Oh, naturally. You're an authority.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, dear, you just didn't marry an ordinary woman.
You're telling me.
And besides, dear, I want you to be a great man. And practically all of our great men came from farms. Look at our presidents. Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Floyd Bunce, Calvin Coolidge.
Floyd Bunce?
Yes.
Floyd Bunce was a president?
Sure, president of the Can't Creep Girdle Company.
Oh, yes, he's been associated with some of our biggest national figures. Now, look, sweetheart.
Oh, it's my darling little ducky. Oh, Mama has some wonderful news for you, Herman. We're going to be farmers just like my grandma and grandpa. Yes, really. The farmer in the dell. Rio, the farmer in the dell. Come on, Bill. Hi, Herman.
Ah, yes, and to think I could save 15 points by eating that thing.
Oh, now, Herman, we mustn't blame Daddy for being upset. All farmers have big problems today. He has to worry about the cows and the chickens and... Oh, I just remembered. We'll have to get a rooster. A cute little rooster. Herman, you're jealous. Oh, well, don't worry, darling. We won't get one. Would you like to be Mama's little rooster? All right. Now, the first thing every morning when you get up, you ruffle your feathers, you spread out your wings, and lay an egg. But, Herman, the most important thing a rooster does is crow. Now, let Mama hear you crow, darling. Now, try again. That's not bad for a little duck. Now, let's show Daddy. Oh, George, come on in. Oh, Bill, are you back?
Yes, Gracie.
Oh, boys, Herman has just learned to do the cleverest thing. Herman, show your Daddy George how you gotta greet him every morning.
Oh, go on.
Oh, no, Herman. That's the way you greet him now. He's learned to crow like a rooster, George. And he's going to wake you up at 4 o'clock every morning.
Now, wait a minute. He's not going to...
Well, that's when Grandma and Grandpa always get up. Now, come on, Herman. You've got to practice your crowing, huh?
See what I mean, Bill? Now she wants me to be like her grandfather.
Even more?
This is no joke. I don't want to live like her grandfather did.
Well, now look, George, if you want Gracie to drop this idea, tell her she'll have to live like her grandmother did. She won't put up with those hardships.
What do you mean?
Well, tell her she has to spin the cloth to make her own clothes.
Oh, I get it. And I'll tell her she has to use goose grease and flour as cosmetics.
Right.
Dip her own candle.
Good.
Make her own soap.
Wonderful.
Do all her own.
Wait a minute. Did you say make her own soap? Do you mean that you'd take Gracie Swan soap away from her?
Well, Bill, you said
I said to make her endure a few hardships, not torture her out of her mind.
Well, forget it.
Forget what?
Forget that.
Forget that every woman has two inalienable rights. The right to change her mind and the right to use Swan, the new white floating soap that's purer than finest Castiles. Money can't buy a purer soap. No, sir.
Oh, Bill, I didn't realize...
You didn't realize what?
I didn't realize...
You didn't realize that Swan is great for bathing the baby, I suppose. You didn't realize that it's so mild it's kind even to a little baby's tender skin. You didn't realize that therefore it must be wonderful for your hands and face, your tub or shower. You didn't realize.
Oh, look, I didn't mean to say...
You didn't mean to say what?
I didn't mean
You didn't mean to say that
Swan... Oh, shut up! Hey, I'm trying to tell you that I was carried away by your idea, and I said make her own soap before I thought. Now, stop shouting at me.
Well, I'm sorry, George.
You ought to be.
I've lost my head. It's just that whenever I think of someone having their Swan soap taken away from them, I just can't stand it. Especially women. You see, women have long considered Castile soap the standard of purity, but Swan is even purer than finest Castiles. Give me your handkerchief, George.
Oh, fine. All right, Bubble Boy, you wait here. I'll go in and try the idea on Gracie.
All right, darling, now try once more. Why, that's wonderful. Mama's so proud of her clever little ducky.
Gracie, can I talk to you a minute?
Yes, dear.
Look, sweetheart, I've changed my mind about this farm business. I've decided that we ought to live just like your grandma and your grandpa
Why,
did.
George, that's marvelous.
Yep. From now on, we'll just work on the farm. No more poker games, no more golf, no more beauty shops.
Oh, I'm so thrilled. What was that last item again, dear?
No more beauty shops.
But, George...
Your grandma never used powder or lipstick or nail polish in her life. And she didn't know what it was to have her hair done.
My, she was a sloppy old girl, wasn't she?
And another thing, you'll have to give up your fur coat. Grandma never had one.
But, George...
Well, Gracie, you don't need a fur coat to raise cabbages, you know.
But couldn't I sort of do half of each?
What do you mean?
Well, couldn't I raise Brussels sprouts and wear a short fur jacket?
No, Gracie, you're going to live just like your grandma.
But don't forget, Grandma was an older woman.
Well, she was your age once.
Oh, no, as far back as I can remember, she was older than I was.
Well, anyway, it's your choice, Gracie. Either we have a victory garden and live like everybody else, or we have a farm and you live just like your grandma.
Well, all right, George. I know I'll hate myself for it, But I've decided.
Good.
I'll take the farm and live like Grandma did.
Oh, no.
Yes. Goodbye, George. I'm going upstairs to pack.
To pack?
Certainly. Grandma hated the farm. She left for the city when she was 19. Goodbye, George.
Come back, kid. Come back. George and Gracie will be back in a moment. Meanwhile, friends, don't forget to send for Swan's Rainbow Gladiolus Garden. 8 gladiolus bulbs to brighten up your victory garden or your yard. And you get them all for 1 Swan wrapper, any size, and only 10 cents in coin. Just send to Gracie Allen, Box 7, New York City. These bulbs are from pedigreed stock, just the kind florists use for their choicest cut flowers. They give you a rainbow of big, beautiful blooms, including a separately wrapped feature bulb, the amazing Swan White Glad. So don't delay, friends. Send a Swan wrapper and a dime for each set of 8 bulbs to Gracie Allen, Box 7, New York City. And now, here are George and Gracie.
Well, you were right all the time, George. We'll just have a sweet little victory garden.
Good. We'll plant some asparagus.
And we'll plant some beets on top of it.
On top of it?
Uh-huh. So when the asparagus starts to come up, it'll tickle the beets on the bottom and they'll come up sooner.
Oh, no.
The makers of Swan, the new white floating soap, join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in to your CBS station again next week, same time. Remember, George Burns and Gracie Allen, CBS next Tuesday night. And don't forget to listen to Swan's other show, Tommy Riggs and Betty Lou, next Friday night over another network. And now till next week, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I, Swan, how about you? Good night.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.